Bahara, Lokesh Bam, Kishore Mahato and Puran BK. And the changes are that Ashman Bam has come in for Bipin Khatri. Now let's look at the lineup for Talent Hunt CA Dhaka. Lineup as follows: Ford Hassan, Abda Kaif, Shariah Rimon, Mohammed Mosharif the captain, Raj Bam, Ravi Chowdhury, Ashish Ratnam, MD Umar, Shandeep Kumar, MD Burano the wicketkeeper, Uttam Thapa Magar. And the changes there is that Fawad Hassan has come into the side and that Imran Khan has dropped out on this occasion. So those are the two sides. And it'll be very interesting to see how they go. Effectively both out of the main contention, as you can see, having a look at Group B. They're in, well, third and fourth, respectively, and only separated by a difference of net run rate. But there is still the third place playoff to play for, which comes along on Thursday. So these two sides, a win here will take them into that game, so they'll have one more game in the tournament, but they're out of semi-final contention, so as far as that's concerned it's a dead rubber, but they still potentially have one more game in the tournament. Alongside me, I'm delighted to be joined by former Nepalese captain, a man of course who's played over 90 games, Paresh Lahani. Paresh, even though both sides are effectively out of the semi-final stage of this contest, they'll want to get a bit of pride today, and also there's an opportunity to play one more match.
Yes, exactly. For the 5th and 6th place, they're going to play a match. And it's good that they're getting to play another match. That's good to see. And good morning, the viewers, once again from Bhairava, in the Fantasy Akhada Pro Club Championship 2022.
And Paresh, just looking at the game today, both sides, of course, will be a little low on confidence. They haven't played the greatest cricket thus far. Who, from what you've seen of the two games that both sides have played, who do you think might prevail today?
Well, it's very hard to say that because of the pitch. It's turning, it's giving some bounce as well. It's a slower pitch. Whichever team assess the pitch properly, reads the pitch, I think they'll get on top.
We've seen a few chases, actually, through the course of this contest, not least in that final game yesterday, where the Malaysia 11 got home, of course, with 3 wickets to spare. A lot of sides, though, have elected to bat first, haven't they? We're just having a look quickly at the highlights yesterday of this extraordinary over, the last over, 6 in 6. The first to go was Maragank Patak. This was the run out, very careless indeed. Actually, it's Ishan Pandey who goes on this occasion. Nice bit of work, and that's the run out. So we've had 2 in 2 in this over, quite extraordinary stuff. And then this is another little one that clips the top of Anindo Nahare's leg stump, and another big swing and a miss. Vishesh Sarara going on that occasion. This will be a caught and bowled. I think this is the 4th in 4. It's Jatin Singhal to go on that occasion. And then this is, I think, the final wicket of the piece. Quite extraordinary. And that was Pranay Prasad. 6 in 6. Have you ever seen anything quite so extraordinary, Paresh?
No, I haven't, Johnny. That was a bowling by Virendra Singh. Sorry. Varandeep Singh. 6 in 6, 2 run-outs, and 4 in 4 by the bowler himself, including a hat-trick in the last over. And restricted the opposition team for just 132. That's very professional.
I mean, it really changed the complexion of the game, of course, as well, as Malaysia actually chased it down quite comfortably. We're just having a look at the THCA side, who are just about to take the field of play, and the umpires, of course. And it'll be very interesting today. So, Paresh, we'll just pick up on that point. A lot of sides have opted to bat first, but there's been a number of chases. What kind of score? THCA have been disappointing. They haven't reached 100 thus far in the competition. What do they need to try and put on the board today?
No, they don't have to think what should they put on the board. They should play on the merit of the ball and assess 50. But because of the last over, they could only manage 132 and was comfortably chased by Malaysia 11.
Yes, it was indeed. And that was a very comfortable chase in the end. And Malaysia 11 batted absolutely superbly. But that was then. This is now. THCA Dhaka have been a little bit disappointing, to be fair, as have the armed police force, have played way below the capabilities of their side, because there's a lot of stars in that side in the armed police force. Tell me a little bit about the stars, Paresh. Here come, just before that, here come the umpires, making their way on the field of play. They've got the brand spanking ball new there. That's new ball. Arpande and you, Rejmi, are the two umpires. And Vinay Jar is the TV umpire, and Saka, S. Saka, is the match referee.
The players are in the ground as well. The fielders, the armed police force fielding first. Dhaka winning the toss and electing to bat first. Barano, the keeper, is coming along with Remon to open the batting.
And one thing, I wonder if Abidor Kaif, who was so electric yesterday with that 23, 2 sixes and 2 fours, he was down, I think, at 9 on the card yesterday. I wonder if he'll come in a little bit earlier today, Paresh.
Yeah, sorry, maybe he might, or because of the condition of the team, he just tried to hit the ball and he connected. Probably he's a pinch hitter. He might as well be sent in the top of the order to just go and pinch it to up the run rate if they start slow. And you can see the Dhaka dugout anxiously watching, anxiously wondering, and anxiously wanting to have a good start.
Yeah, good start, of course, in these games is actually absolutely critical. And just a rearrangement of the stumps out there. Very hard conditions. Never that easy. Never that easy to get the stumps in the ground. Kishu Mahatu, who bowled pretty well yesterday, to be fair, is going to take the new ball up from the market end, bowled with good pace. And the two opening batsmen are Shariah Kabir Rimon and Ashvizman Barano, the wicketkeeper. Just having a discussion in mid-pitch about the tactics and about the way they're going to go about things. Pradeep, the wicketkeeper, just going through a few drills there. The captain, he'll be looking to get this side off to their first win in the tournament. He'll be really disappointed with the way in which they've gone about things thus far. They're a better side than that. They've got a lot of decent international players and domestic players right at the top of their game, Paresh. Just the umpire's just going through a few more moments here.
Yeah. Mohammad Shariah Kabir Rimon is going to take the strike, and Kishore Mahato is coming from the market end with his first over and the first over of the innings. And if you bend your back, being a fast bowler, if you bend your back and use your shoulder, you can get a bounce and a bit quick as well. The ball will go quick as well.
Yeah, we've seen actually the seamers, although the left armers have been the predominant force in this tournament so far, actually the seamers have actually got a fair bit of out of the surface as well. And the umpire's just checking with the two batsmen if they're happy about proceedings. And it's it'll be Mohammad Shariah Kabir Rimon. He'll be the man on strike. In fact, actually, it's Mohamed Barano, who's the man on strike. He'll take the first ball.
Yeah, you can see the field. There's a floating slip and a catching gully.
Bit of wind and just knocking the bails off. That might be a feature today. It's playing havoc with the various bits of paper we have here in the commentary box as well.
Oh, I think it's a very interesting kind of field. They left a very vacant area between backward point and extra cover. There's mid off, mid on, short fine, deep square leg, and third man.
A little bit of in swing immediately, and it's just tucked into the onside. A nice, solid start. A little bit of swing. We've seen a little bit of swing through the course of the tournament so far.
Yeah, Mahato is a natural in swinger. You can see his action, that the wrist position is towards the fine leg region. That is why he's getting that in swing.
Yes, he's got the wind to play with. Wide of the off stump on that occasion. And yes, that wind just coming, the prevailing wind, which is coming across the ground, but largely from right to left as we look out of it, but left to right with the bowler. That's going to assist, isn't it, that little in swing?
Yeah, exactly. And his action, he definitely bowls an in swing, and he is an in swing bowler. And you can see the wrist position is facing fine leg.
Yeah, nice little delivery there, just cutting it back off the seam. Swung a couple. Now he's got one to nip back off the surface.
Apart from the first ball on the leg side, you have bowled two very good balls, two dot balls.
He got away with that, actually. That is called hiding the ball, Paresh, isn't it? Looking for that spot just inside the blue guides, Paresh.
Yeah, I think that was inside the guideline that the umpire looks at for a wide.
Squeeze down the third man. There is a man down there. Be nicely fielded in the end.
The poor fielding by the
Oh dear.
fielder there gives away runs.
Sandeep Jora, who's the culprit on that occasion.
A very, very poor effort there. You can see he was there, just went through his legs. That's very bad technique.
Again, just hiding the ball outside that off stump. End of the over. THCA Dhaka are 5 without loss. Yes, Paresh Lahani, over 10 years playing for Nepal, 90 caps, 12 years, so I have underdone you there, Paresh, 90 caps, played at pretty much every level that Nepal, I mean, you were there for the entire journey, Paresh.
Yes, luckily I was. It was a dream for me to play a district level cricket. I played that. And again, I had a dream to play for regional cricket, regional team. I did that. And there was a dream to be the captain of regional team. It was true, it became true. And my another dream was to play against, in the Nepali national side. That dream came true in the year 2000. And yet I had another dream to become a captain. That also became true in 2004, late 2004. Now I have a dream to play an ODI. I don't think so. That dream is going to come true.
Paresh, I can see a comeback on the cards. It'll be Nandan Yadav who'll kick us off up here from the pavilion end. Bowled with good pace yesterday. One of the more impressive seamers we've seen. Right arm strong action. But playing all those years, you must have gone. I mean, cricket is a very exotic sport.
Let's look at the replay. Starts with a yorker. Nandan Yadav, a very good ball, and played it well. He brought the bat very quick to the ball.
Cricket is a very exotic sport, and you, because of the nature of the journey that Nepal has gone on, you must have played, I mean, literally all across the world.
Yeah, I'll come back to that after this ball. Wide ball given by Nandan Yadav. Yeah, I've played across the world in different conditions. So it's rolling his fingers. That is why it went a bit wide on the leg side. Yeah, cricket is my passion. So I always, when I'm not playing at the moment. So I commentate. If I get a chance, I go for coaching.
Another good tight delivery. And Paresh, just tell me, those European journeys must have been fun. Did you play back in the qualifier where Afghanistan started their journey, where they almost got to the World Cup, where I think Nepal, Hong Kong, and Afghanistan all played together in Guernsey, or was it Jersey?
It was Jersey.
Was that back in 2007?
2008.
I'll come back to that in a second. We'll just keep an eye on. And what division was that, Paresh?
It was Division 5. Afghanistan won that Division 5 and they moved on to Division 4. And they won that as well. And they moved on to the Division 3. They won that as well and they moved to Division 2. That is how they progressed.
One win away, wasn't it? Was it Canada, I think, that finally saw to the end of that particular dream? Oh, that will be tight. Very tight. Bit of a yes-no maybe. Wasn't a million miles away. Throw missed. End of the over. THCA are 7 without loss.
And it was a wayward throw by Puankaki. He's a very good fielder, but the throw was... If it was a direct hit, he was gone for my money.
Yeah, that would have been out.
After that, Nepal picked up. They won the Division 5 in Nepal. Nepal hosted that. And they went to... And they won Division 4. They won Division 3.
Yeah, an incredible journey. As that over finishes, THCA are 7 without loss. And did you recognise, playing in that tournament, that would actually be quite special? Just looking at that card now, Barano not out on 2 off 5 deliveries. Rimon is not out on 5 off 7 deliveries. Did you recognise that Afghanistan were going to go on the journey they have to become a full member side?
Yeah, the way they played the Intercontinental Cup, the 4-day matches, they won the Intercontinental Cup. And I think it was a very good decision by the ICC to grant Ireland and Afghanistan the test status.
Yes, it was indeed. And Afghan, I had the pleasure of commentating on their second ever test match, which was against Bangladesh in Chattogram. Extraordinary finish. It was the Rashid Khan show. But anyway, back here. And Kishore Mahato will continue. Wide of that off stump, and it's given a wide as well. Cause just swinging away on that occasion. It was a bit wide, Paresh.
Yes, it was. Marginal, but I think that was a good decision. The captain was not pleased with that wide. Pradeep Kaki, the batsman, staying a foot outside the crease.
Ooh, shots up and over. That'll be runs. I think I'll run away for 4. Bit of width offered, and just threw his hands at it to Kabir Mohammed Kabir Rimon, and he gets it away for a boundary.
He deliberately played it over. You can see that over the infield because there are no boundary riders. This is the power play. That is why he deliberately played it over the circle, over the 30-yard circle for 4 runs. A very good shot.
Yeah, you don't want to be there, to be honest. That's the one length you want to keep well away from.
A very good comeback by Mahato. Good length.
yes, that was an iconic tournament. Just if you look at the rankings of those sites, Hong Kong, Nepal, and Afghanistan then, and where they've come to now, extraordinary journey. Well, that scuttles along just outside the off stump. It was very full, to be fair, but a dot ball.
Again, Mahato mixing his pace, bowls a lecter this time, which moves away from the batsman and stayed a bit low as well.
Yeah, it did, just outside that off stump. Good delivery from Mahatu, but yeah, I mean, just looking back at that tournament, there's a wonderful epic documentary actually which charts Afghanistan's rise, and it starts with that tournament, and it starts actually going to the Afghanistan Cricket Academy back in Kabul, which was effectively, I think, a couple of nets which hadn't been used for 40 years around the back of the British Embassy, and that's the facilities they had to play with. And yet, well, a year later they were almost playing with the big boys. Driven through the offside, it'll just be a single. But yes, Afghanistan's journey is interesting, but actually what I'm really interested in, obviously, being here in Nepal, is the journey that Nepal went, because they travelled a similar route, Paresh.
Yeah, exactly. They travelled in the similar path, similar route, and they still have the opportunity to get to the World Cup. I mean, 50 over ODI World Cup, 50 over World Cup. 3 gone. THCA, THCA, they are 14 for no loss. And the ODIs they are playing right now, the Division 2 league, they are in the 7th position. Playing 12 matches, they're in the 7th position. They have to be in the first 3 positions to play the qualifier of the World Cup. So, if they can win, hopefully, touch wood, if they can win the rest of the matches, which are against USA, Scotland, and good teams, they'll be on top. I mean, they'll be on top 3, and they might qualify. There's still a chance to qualify for the 50 over World Cup.
Well, wouldn't that be incredible? Just drifting down the leg side was Yadav on this occasion. Well, actually, a pretty good effort by the captain, diving away to his left-hand side to do the fielding. Pradeep Singh Hari, who's down there.
Yeah, here's the points table. Oman, they are on the top with 36 points, playing 29 matches. UAE on 2nd, Scotland on 3rd, Namibia on 4th, hard good length. And USA, they are on the 5th position, and Nepal in the 6th, with 6 games played, 12 matches played, 6 lost, 6 won.
Yes, 50-50 record. How many games are they going to need to get through qualification?
We'll come back to that.
Sakar, our stats man, is just busily working it out at the back. Oh, that's taken off. Wow, off a length. Oh, blimey. That really is a pacey delivery outside the off stump, Paresh.
Yeah, like I said, if you bend your back and use your shoulder, you'll get that bounce and that pace. Look at that. He bent his back. The ball climbed to the batsman.
It's a fun wicket, isn't it? Because the pacemen have got something in it, and the spinners have certainly got something. You've got to be highly skilled to put some runs together. But it's great watching these quick men work out the early stages of this power play. that doesn't bounce outside the off stump. It's a fraction fuller, but it's where you want to be, I guess, as a bowler, isn't it? In that in-between length outside the off stump.
I think Yadav tried the same ball, but the ball stayed down this time around. So look at the behavior of the pitch.
It's a little bit too pace. I think that was a fraction fuller. But that short of a length ball that whipped up was an interesting one. Shirai Kabir Rimon. Oh, there are more helpers and volunteers down there, which is great to see. So many people involved in this wonderful production here. Oh, that's up in the air. Oh, fall short. Oh, poor old Yadav. Looks fairly forlornly there. Does that just fall short of the infield? You always tend to have men on the edge of the circle, don't you, in the power play?
Yes, I think it stopped on the batsman, the ball, and stayed a bit low. 5 dot balls in this over so far. Can he bowl a maiden?
Yeah, we haven't seen many of those in the tournament thus far. Good control here by the armed police force. And Nandan Yadav. Just running that down to third man and running it nicely, actually. He got it to the left-hand side of the man down on the rope. And that's another boundary. Nothing too spectacular here. We're just starting to build something.
It'll be very interesting to see, was that a misfield in gully? I think he could have stopped that. Nevertheless, a boundary for Dhaka. The score moves to 18 after 4 overs.
Yeah, Amar Singh Rutela will be the man who'll be coming into the attack up from the market. And he picked up...
It was not a length ball, but 6-meter length ball. Pretty well done by Rutela. Good start by him.
Yes, he'll mix it up, Rutela. Little medium pacer, little nagging medium pacer. Looking to drive on the offside is Baran, and the ball, I think the thing with Rutela is the ball's never quite there for you, isn't it, with these subtle changes of pace.
Yeah, that was running off spinners bowled by Rutela. He does that often, quite often. And it's very hard to pick.
Yeah, looking to bowl little cutters. Just rolling his fingers across the seam. Another dot ball. It's been pretty tight, actually, from the Nepal Army Club, because they just conceded the 1 boundary in the last couple of overs. Otherwise, we've had 8 dots so far in that sequence. This is in the power play.
The other thing is the action doesn't change. Again, the slower ball. Trying to heave it away. Couldn't connect it. Was almost edged and back to the keeper. 4 dot balls already now. The batsman getting restless.
Yes, Barano looking to take it on. THCA Dhaka, their main problem is they've been bowled out a couple of times. Just pushed out on the offside. Another dot ball. Pressure just starting to build here.
This was bowled a bit quicker, not a slower ball. That is why it hurried the batsman.
Yes, Jay just getting pictures of the bench over away to our left-hand side. Looking to drive on the offside. That's squeezed away on the leg side. Barano might get runs. He does. He gets 4 of them. Well, that's a bit lucky again. You've got to take him at this stage. End of the over. THCA Dhaka are 22 without loss after 5. One more over left at the power play.
Yeah, it was a good ball, but took the inner half of the bat to the long leg region for 4 runs. There was a fielder there at deep square leg. The fine leg fielder was inside the circle. Lucky 4, I must say, for the Dhaka team, and much needed one.
Yeah, just looking again here, looking to push on the offside. Disappears down through fine leg. Bhuwan Karki will be our next man into the attack. And he's going to operate up here from the pavilion end. Just while we've got a moment, actually, Paresh, just talk me through the permutations of the qualification.
Yeah, talking about the World Cricket League 2, each team play each other 6 times, altogether 36 matches, twice at home, twice at away, and twice at neutral venue. So I think Oman has played all 36 matches, 29 matches. Nepal has played 12, so they still have 24 matches to go. Bhuwan Karki is the new bowler.
Yeah, still plenty of cricket left in that qualification process. Yeah, Karki bowled pretty well actually in the first game of the campaign. They lost the Nepal Army. He still picked up 2 for 35 in that. Worked well on the onside. It'll be a tight single, but they'll get home.
Very well clipped off his pad by the batsman for a single. The ball was straight to the fielder, but they were able to pinch a single there.
Although we haven't lost a wicket, THCA Dhaka will be pretty happy with the progress they're making. Firm drive up the ground that we fielded just below us by Lokesh Bam.
Bhuwan Karki is bowling a bit fuller. He has to shorten his length. Good length there, good areas, good length. And a bit slower, not quicker. The left arm spinners are bowling so well in this wicket. That is what I was talking about.
Well, that's the perfect delivery, isn't it? To the right-hander. Pitched on off stump and left him for dead. As Mohammed Ramon's looking to whip him through mid-wicket. The ball pitched and spun, and to be honest, because of the conditions, it missed the off stump.
Yeah, that is what Bhuwan Karki should do. Give him air, good. But the batsman made it a full toss. Very good feeling by the...
Fantastic stuff. Yeah, what a bit of fielding out there in the deep. Terrific work by Deepak Bahara. Brilliant stuff. What a stop that was. One of the best bits of out cricket we've seen. Just pulled away on the onside. Really nice bit of work in the field. And another bunt down the ground. Nicely fielded just below us by Lokesh Bam. And then just get through for a single. Yeah, that is a very, very good effort in the field. Just seeing that replay again. Really committed stuff by Deepak Bahara, who's out there in the deep. At the end of the power play, THCA Academy are 27 without loss.
A very big thanks to our sponsors, the title sponsor, Fantasy Akara, payment partner, AVR Pay, internet partner, Vianet, airlines partner, Yeti Airlines, and live on AP1 HD and streaming on VU Sport.
Yeah, it's amazing bringing this wonderful event together. It's been a terrific festival of sport, and we've seen some really good cricket actually, which has been brought to you on AP1 HD and of course on VU Sports across India. And lots of people watching around the globe, which is just fantastic. Down the track, looking to haul the way down the ground, but in the end it's squeezed down to fine leg. Another single added, but a shade's been tent here. 5 off the over so far. No, sorry, 1 off the this over so far. Previous over went for 6. Run rate starting to increase. Oh, nice bit of batting that actually, because he waited for it. It looks like an outside edge, but I think he played for it down through third man. And these are useful runs.
Yeah, I think that was done deliberately because the third man is a bit wider. He played it so fine. Let's see. Yeah, a nice touch. Well batted, young lad.
Yeah, THCA Dhaka have probably been guilty of trying to chase the game a little and chase the ball, whereas actually waiting for it is the way. And this has been a much more assured start. No fireworks particularly, but you can still score runs here, can't you? You know that 130, 140 will put this armed police force under a bit of pressure. Finally got the ball that's been hiding under the covers.
Yeah, they're getting the current rate slowly, but it was now it's 4.9 to almost 5. The important thing that is they haven't lost any wicket. Very well bowled and well played by the batsman. Good cricket.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely, that is the key thing here. Wickets in hand. Got a couple of hitters in that middle order as well. But the problem is THCA Dhaka have never really given themselves a chance in this competition with the way in which they've gone about their batting. Sharp single, this will be tight. If it hits, it's gone. It's gone by miles. Oh dear. Sharp bit of work by Sumit Maharan. If that had hit, that was dead for all money.
Yeah, it was a sharp fielding by Maharjan there. I think the batsman hesitated in the first place. If there was a direct hit, he was gone.
Well, the batsman not only hesitated, he gave it up about halfway because he knew he was dead for all money. Oh, doesn't quite make it. I have to say, when that left the bat, I thought that might be another wicket. As it is, we're 7 down, 7 overs gone, and THCA Academy are 33 without loss. Good insight today, loving your journey. People want the superstar, not me.
Live on AP1 HD and around the world. A big evening last night, Johnny. Was practicing my counting, working out how to get to 6. Work out when there's 6 and 6, how to remember it.
Enjoyed the way you've clipped up those highlights, Andrew. Fantastic job of smoke and mirrors.
I thought it was an outstanding call myself, particularly when I watched back the highlights clips. Just thought it was absolutely perfect. We're getting better and better, Johnny, as are the AP1 HD team. And wait till it hits the Twitter machine today. I think I fell asleep last night trying to post it to Twitter. When it gets up there, it'll go around the world.
Yes, it will indeed, as that's tucked around the corner. I'll get a single for Mohamed Rimon. Yeah, I mean, quite extraordinary scenes. I've never seen anything like it. I've seen 4 in 4 a few times. Never seen 5 in 5. And of course, with the run out, we had 6 and 6.
There's one of our backroom team, Yazan, who's been working really hard. I think he specifically asked for this shot as well. He's looking for the hero shot. The working hero shot. That's exactly what he is.
That's a lovely bit of work. A backward point. They'll get through for a single. And that is the end of the over. Rattling through them. 8 gone. THCA Academy 35 without loss.
Yeah, 6 and 6 yesterday, Johnny. I somehow did a game in Mexico City about 6 months ago at the ICC Women's T20 World Cup Americas qualifiers, where Brazil and Argentina took on Canada and USA. Canada needed 3 to win off the last over against Brazil. I think it was a single off the first ball, and then we had 5 wickets in 5, including a run out right in the middle. So she didn't actually get a hat-trick, did young Laura Cardoso, but that one went around the world with a slightly more iconic call of Dios mio as we saw the 5 and 5. But ludicrous things happen in associate cricket. They tend to follow us around, and it's all part of the beauty of spreading the gospel of our great game.
Yes, I've been following the Brazilian ladies' development with a great deal of interest. Very active on social media, aren't they? Across all platforms.
It's a remarkable story, Brazilian women's cricket, because the Brazilian Cricket Federation have taken the approach that they feel their fastest way to gain traction internationally is by backing their women's side and getting them up the rankings. So much so that they've signed 20 of them on full-time professional contracts, all in one city. There's a slower ball will be signalled wide outside the off stump. And in Poco de Caldas, which is in northern Brazil, there's more cricketers than there are footballers now, remarkably. And that's purely due to the focus on the women's game. There's over 5,000 cricketers in that city, and over 3,000 of them are women. And you have to look at the story of Thailand as well. Some federations, some cricketing associations are really taking creative views as to how to popularise and spread the game, and maybe the fastest way to do that is by looking at the women's game.
Yes, it has been a fascinating development. You talk about in Brazil, but yeah, Thailand's journey has been quite incredible as well. And yeah, it's a fascinating approach actually by boards. It's just nipped outside the off stump and just gets a little edge down to third man. They'll get through for another single.
And what's going to be really interesting is in February next year, one of the other results of that ICC board meeting that concluded on Sunday is we'll see the first ever ICC Women's Under-19 World Cup, which will bring in an opportunity for 16 teams, not 8 or 10, 16 teams at a World Cup level.
Well, big bunt into the mid-wicket region. They'll think about a couple, but they'll think better of it. That's a very, very good effort in the field by Buhankaki, sprawling away to his left-hand side.
Yeah, good work from Buhankaki. He's actually going to his weaker side, isn't he, the left-hander? And he's got the dive out to keep it to just a single. Generally pretty impressive in the field so far this morning.
Swing and a miss outside the off stump. Just looking to run it down third man.
That Women's Under-19s World Cup, though, they haven't announced the qualification structure just yet. But I would imagine the 11 test nations that have women's sides, obviously Afghanistan don't at the moment, they'll qualify automatically, and then there'll be 5 regional qualifiers from the 5 ICC regions. So great opportunity for maybe the Nepal women's side, who continue to grow in stature, to maybe take their first appearance. It'd be very difficult for a Nepal women's senior side to get into a World Cup with them being just 8 or 10 teams. With 16 teams, there'd be a real chance there. Get to the end of the 9th, it's 40 for none.
Just having a little look at the Armed Police Force bowling figures. Nandan Yadav, number 7 off 2. Nice tidy economy rate. Buhan Karki has gone quite nicely as well. A change of bowling. Deepak Bahara will be bowling up here from the pavilion end. No ball, and it's powered through the offside as well for good measure. Well, not the ideal start. 5 runs coming from the delivery, and another 6 still to bowl.
We haven't seen many front foot no balls. I think this is just the second of the tournament, but we're going to see a free hit. Keep your eyes on the umpire here. He's going to get the lasso out, and I don't think it's actually a front foot no ball. It's a back foot no ball, so he's come too wide. You see that white line just to the left of where the umpire is standing? That's the return crease. And if your back foot crosses that in any capacity...
And again, and that's... Oh, it's ricocheted off the stumps. He'll get through for a single. He can count himself a little unlucky. He's banging his pads because he knows Mohamed Barano that he's missed out on a boundary there.
Yeah, and he's very close to a second no ball there. His back foot is getting really tight to that return crease. Can't even touch it at all. It's not like the front foot where you need to be over the front line.
Yeah, full toss to add into proceedings there. Been a bit of a mixed bag thus far.
If your back foot just even touches that return crease, which is the sideline as you look now, you end up with a no ball.
Googly, just the ball just darting back into the right-hander. And take a single.
Let's take a look. He's coming really, really wide, isn't he? And that was the first one, and a very good decision, because clearly that foot had touched the back line, and that's why it's a no ball. Good knowledge of the rules, or sorry, the laws of the game even. And also the simplification of those laws by the MCC. I think it was back in 2018. They made all no balls a free hit just to make things simpler for fans to understand, and rightly so.
Well, that's a big bunt. Down the ground. Is that a catch? No, he's dropped it. And there'll be a run out though. Oh dear. Oh dear. Hesitation. Both the non-striker and the striker up at the striker's end. Both accused of ball watching. They thought it was a wicket, but it wasn't. But it was a run out. And it's a very smart bit of work by Nandan Yadav just down here below us.
Got to give him great credit here for a couple of reasons. He never claimed the catch. You'd have seen some fielders actually try and claim that or send it upstairs. He knew that he's put it down. Have a look. It's hammered down to him. Probably should have been held on to first time. Clearly drops the catch. It goes through his arms on the ground, picks it up, and immediately thinks to throw it in. And the reason that the umpires are just asking him to wait, it's not because it's not out. They're trying to work out which two of the batters is going to be out, because they both ended up at the same end in rather farcical circumstances. You get a better view here. Catch goes down, picks it up cleanly, gets the throw in over the top. The bowler whips the bails off, and one of these two batters will be dismissed.
Yeah, looks like Mohamed Kabir Rahman is the one that's going to... Well, he's not off the field of play yet. Still lingering for the decision. Still trying to work it out, the two umpires. Yeah, can we... Let's see the run out again. And yeah, well, batsmen, I guess the thing is, they just must have thought that catch was taken. No celebration, gets the throw in. And they're having a look at whether it is a catch, aren't they, here?
But it's not a catch. He clearly hasn't claimed the catch. It's gone down in between his arms, and what we need to see is the run out. If we can take a look at the run out and see where the two batters were at that point. The Armed Police Force, they aren't staging a sit-down protest. They just know this could take a while.
Yes, and understandably, drinks are being taken. Andrew, just while we've got a quick moment before we see that replay. Oh, no, we do finally have a decision. Although drinks of the ground staff are on the field of play. And it will be Mohamed Rimon, who'll be dragging himself off the field to play, absolutely furious. He's played a pretty good hand, actually. 22 off 35.
He's definitely run out. No catch here. He's been run out, and we'll see if we can take a look at the run out. A much more cautious approach, so credit to the Talenthood Cricket Academy, THCA, because they've learnt from their mistakes, and that's what these opportunities are all about. The coaches can get progress and development over their sides, which is exactly what they've done. I see a big change to their order as well, because they think they've finally got the platform they wanted. They're going to send the big hitting Mohamed Abidor Jaman Kaif. I think he batted at number 8 the other day. I think they're going to send him in now at number 3 as the umpires get the sides moving. They'll be approaching, getting ready for the second half of the game.
Yes, it was a superb little cameo. 23, 2 6s, 2 4s. Came in the blink of an eye. And he only came off, I think, 8 deliveries. Terrific stuff. And I think this is a very good move, actually, because he was the only player that actually timed the ball on that side, and he timed it beautifully, didn't he? And I think it's a very good move indeed. Doesn't want to get too excited, because he's got plenty of time. And just looking at that final run out. And it's a sloppy bit of cricket. And I have to say, Mohamed Rahman dragged himself off the field of play, but he goes for 22. That came off 35 balls. Burano is still there. His bowling figures, well, all pretty tidy. Probably the pick thus far is Nandan Yadav. He bowled pretty well at the top. None for 7. Economy rate of 3.5. And Bhuvan Kaki as well. None for 8 off his 2. He's bowled pretty well. But yeah, that's the tail of the tape. Just working around that front pad, around the corner. They'll get through for a single. Deepak Bahar all bowl his second over. Oh, sorry, he's closing that drinks break. Has completely done me. Yes, that's the final ball of the over. It's a difficult job, this. It's a difficult job, this. And we're at the halfway stage. THCA Academy from Dhaka. 48 for 1.
Been a very challenging tournament this, Johnny, for the Armed Police Force side. Obviously missing Asif Sheikh and Shard Visakar, but I think they've been disappointing. You compare their bowling attack in particular, with the very honourable exception of Nandan Yadav. They don't really have a huge amount of penetration. Their spin options are by far the weakest of the 4 Nepali sides we've seen in action. We just don't see where their success is coming from. They rely heavily upon Pradeep Bairi at the top of the order with their batting. And I can't see for the life of me why they've left Rit Gautam out for the last 2 games. And I just wonder if Kaif gets going here, it could very quickly turn into a game that's going to swing the way of Dhaka, and the Armed Police Force are going to be none from 3.
Yeah, the 2 games, they haven't equipped themselves with a great deal of glory, haven't they? They're chasing 139 against the Nepal army. They lost by 51 in that game. And then, of course, bundled out for 76 yesterday against the UP 11. And lost that comfortably by 7 wickets. And they haven't got a great deal of confidence coming into this contest. And they can do well to try and get out the group and at least into that 3rd place playoff.
The umpires have been enforcing this more and more, not just in this competition, across the world. They don't like batters getting down the track towards the danger area. I think it's a bit overly officious myself.
He's got again. Has he got enough of it? I think he has. Cracking shot. Gets the maximum. Up and over mid-wicket. And he's starting like he finished yesterday. Putting bat to ball.
Yeah, the tall, languid style of the all-rounder Kaif. So the player with real promise. Obviously his bowling has struggled at patches in this tournament, but his batting has lit things up, and that's a big hit. He's picked that slower ball, got right to the pitch of it, or not quite, but very nearly, and got more than enough of it to get it away for 6. He's going to try and repeat the dose. Keep your eyes on this.
Oh, gets a good one. Just taking the pace off. A little off cutter, just nipping back between bat and pad. Nice change up.
Yeah, he's a big, tall, athletic cricketer, isn't he? You so often think of Bangladesh batters, and the most famous, probably the shorter the better, Mushfiqur Rahim in particular.
In the block hole, that's well bowled. Just keeps them down to single.
Tamim Iqbal, Shakib Al Hassan, these guys are generally shorter in stature. He's got a big, long, languid style, big, long backlift, and he's got the levers to clear the ropes.
Well, he has. He's prepared to wait as well. It's been an impressive, hasn't it? The cameo yesterday and then the performance today thus far. Just having a look at the THCA Dhaka side. Looks like the skipper might be coming in next. All padded up and ready to go. Sunglasses on. Just punched into the offside. They'll get through for another single, and that will bring the man of the moment, Abidor Cave, back on strike. In fact, it's the end of the over, and it's 57 for 1 after 11. Quick look at that Group B again. Armed Police Force are in third with no wins, and just courtesy of net run rate, THCA Dhaka are down there at the bottom of the pile on no wins as well.
But a look at Group A, it's set up brilliantly. All 4 sides can still qualify for the semi-finals, and none of the 4 sides are guaranteed their spot. There's all sorts of calculations. We could get 3 sides tied on the top of the table with 2 wins apiece, or we also could get 3 sides tied on just 1 win apiece at the bottom of the table. The R11 keep winning. They're enjoying their TV time. This could be a good matchup here, Johnny. Bahara to Kaif. I expect we're going to try to see some fireworks from Kaif. He should be trying to do his target straight down the ground.
Yeah, going with the spin, up and over extra cover as well is the option for him. Yeah, that's a clever little off break, isn't it? One just nipping back from outside the off stump. And they get back for a couple of buys.
Yeah, look at that. Love to see that. They've not just got their laptop out, the analyst's laptop. They've also got the live feed on, making sure they learn from their time on TV. And that's watching via the streaming partner Vianet. Of course, live on VU Sports across the world on YouTube. Just type in VU Sports or Pro Club Championship on YouTube. You'll be able to pick up that live feed, which the guys are enjoying there.
Hammered down the ground. Has he got enough width on it? Not quite. Nicely fielded down there in the deep by Lokesh Bam.
A full mixed bag, isn't it?
Keeping me on my wits.
Off breaks, leg breaks, googlies, bit of everything.
Edged. And edged fine. And that'll run away for 4. Well, I'm afraid the points go to the bowler, but the runs go to the batter. Rather handy, that, safe to say.
That might have been a bit of a leg cutter this time. Bahar is serving up everything here, or even finding it difficult to pick in the commentary box. Definitely went away from the right-hander. Baranaya might have been a leg cutter. Didn't feel like a leg break to me. It wasn't a full leg break that's delivered with the wrist. He's just kind of rolled his fingers over it.
Hammered through on the offside. There is a man out there at deep point, just a single taken.
Definitely categorising Bahara as a mystery spinner. End of the 12th. 66 for 1.
Bowen and Karki will continue up from the market end. The left-hander who's into his left arm is into his third over, bowling round the wicket. Oh, big shot down the ground. Will that carry? It does. Very comfortable. Raj Bam is the next man in. He's another sort of powerful middle late order hitter, all-rounder. So two of the kind of big tall men at the crease. Got plenty of time here, 7.5 overs, got 8 wickets in the hutch. They're going at 5.28, which has been a fairly respectable rate. Just the umpire just having a little look at the ball. What's he doing? No, he's actually doing some amends. I think he had the scissors out and he was cutting a thread off one of the players' trousers. So they have just about everything in those pockets, the umpires. As I've discovered, they even have contactless lens solution in there in case of running repairs required.
The handymen of our game. The umpires with their travelling kits. Kaif just needs to keep going, I think. Have a crack.
And he has. Inside out. Through X to cover. No, just be the one actually. Slightly careless running. They could have pushed for 2 there, I feel.
Slightly careless running, Johnny.
Derry.
It's one of the worst pieces of running of all time, and the batter rightly, Raj Bam, holds his hand in his head, going, what have I done? You shouldn't have just run 2 here. They could have run 3, and they've ended up running 1, because I think they both thought it was going for 4. And they ended up trotting the single. Pretty poor piece of cricket, that.
Yeah, it's very careless, especially considering they've got a good base. Well, that has turned. That's the perfect delivery. Just firing it into off stump, and a natural turn away from the right hander from the left armour. Big shot, away on the leg side this time. And he has got that, and that's gone for 6. And you're feeling a bit better about things there because that got a good piece of that. A nice percentage batting.
Bhuban Karki has bowled better today, but he's still been too flat through the air. He's been too quick, and he's paid the price for it, particularly in his first 2 games, and also from this delivery, just speared in and too full, so it makes it easier to hit. You need to be a little slower and on a good length. It's going to get to the end of the 13th over. Big hit to end it. And Bam's off the mark with a 6. It's 73 for 2.
Deepak Bahara with his licorice all sorts will continue just down below us from the pavilion end. Mohammed Kaif, who's warming to his task, is the man on strike. That's the length, isn't it? Just try and hide the ball outside that off stump and just keep those levers at bay.
Yeah, that's his leg break this time. That just goes away from the right-hander. Really is mixing things up almost every ball, potentially a little bit too often.
Off break on that occasion and jumps across the crease to Kaif. They'll slapping it down the ground. He'll just get through for a single.
Yeah, technically a drop catch. Definitely got a full hand to it, didn't he? He just took the power out of it. Probably saved 3 runs realistically. Slapped back at him with real power. Those long levers that Kaif has make him a very attractive hitter, and the batters have assessed the conditions significantly better today for the THCA THCA. And it looks to me like they're right on top at the moment. They should be thinking from here of 140.
Better length. Just keep them honest. I think keep them away from coming at you and trying to hit straight.
Think of that, do you reckon? I think Tony would think they could get to 140, Johnny.
Well, he called it yesterday, didn't he? Bless him. Just nudged out on the onside. They'll get through for single. There might be a good chance of two, actually, and this is good running. Much better running than the bit of running we saw earlier in the piece. Good work from these two tall men.
Yeah, the perfect weight to get to, because all of the fielders on the leg side, all four of them, they're all in the deep. You see leg spinners or mystery spinners operate with those fields sometimes. They stack the offside field. Deep backward square leg, deep mid-wicket, long on.
This is good running as well. Again, he's just nudging it on the onside. Is Raj Bam, and they're just trying to put the entire armed police force under a bit of pressure. Just a single on that occasion, but pushed hard.
Definite chance of 140 here. 8 wickets in hand. To get 10 and over all right to get there. 2 good strikers of the ball at the crease. And the APF's bowling has been pretty poor this tournament. I'm hunting down 140 if I'm the batting side here.
Cave crosses crease, looking to whip away on the onside. Rebounds off the pads. Over. End of the over. It is THCA, Dhaka are 77 for 2 after 14, and we'll have a change in the commentary box.
Batsman.
Yeah, thank you, Johnny Barron, for the moment, and welcome back, Paresh Tony Lahani, to the box. Good morning, Paresh. How are you, my friend?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
See, you've had a lovely clean shave, haven't you, as well? Look at that. I think I might need to get to the barber tonight. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, Bhuvan Gargi continuing.
This is hit down the ground, and he's got more than enough of this to go for 6. The hunt for 140 is on.
Yes, I do believe that's on, but the wickets are the important thing.
Well, yesterday I asked you, was it on, and you said absolutely no chance or something to that effect. Today you reckon it is game on, Donkey Kong.
It is, but if they lose 2 quick wickets, you never know. That is what I said yesterday.
You're back to the fence again, Tony. Thought you were off it briefly. You do love us hitting the fence, don't you?
It's not a defense. It's the reality.
Bhuvan Karki's into his final over, like you said. He's bowled better today. I still think he's been too flat and too predictable. He hasn't found the pace to bowl on this wicket with the helpful spinning conditions. That's better. Tossed up, harder to time, albeit there's a bit of misfortune as it's come off an under edge. It's actually going to run all the way to the rope. It kisses the rope, but real fortune for the batter. That's not where he intended to hit it, and it comes off an inside edge for 4.
Yeah, that was a bit of a good effort by Kishore Mahato to stop the ball, but he couldn't. The ball just rolled to the rope. Here you can see that. He got a hand to it,
Yeah,
but his body got the ball back to the rope.
Just flicked back onto the rope, didn't it? Misfortune for Mahato. Karki smashed into the deep again, and going to be more runs here, but it'll just be a single as the long on fielder, in fact the deep mid wicket fielder, gets around to cut that off. Certainly going at exactly a run of ball now in the 15th over. You'd have to think 140 should be the minimum from here.
Yeah, and 11 already given in 4 runs, in 4 balls by Bhuvan Karki this over. Probably his last over.
It is his last over into his final over of his 4 over allocation. And this one's smashed down the ground for 6 more. Been really good hitting, and what a catch! One of the ground staff. He has his moment in the sun. He's clung on. Get him out in the field. He's better than some of the fielders.
Yes, exactly. And isn't there any prize for the catcher outside the boundary?
Here he is, the groundsman. He has his moment. Clung on to 2 hands, the perfect technique. Only thing he was missing was a celebration. Now this could be a wicket because it's gone right into the sky. It's going to be 6 and out. A good catch held in the end because it dipped on him late. Clung on to by Ayeshdam Bam, who's held a good catch, and Bhuvan Karki has his second 6 and out.
Yeah. 17 runs given and taken a wicket in this over, in his last over.
Pretty brave piece of bowling because he's tossed it up after being dispatched for 6. Look at this, very late it's dipped on Ayushman Bam, and he's clung on, got the dive out to make sure, and he's done well. Not quite sure why we've seen the batter not come back. Oh, I think he wants a switch of bats or a switch of gloves or something to that effect. Either way, it's the end of the 15th. Kaif's being dismissed for 16, and the score 94 for 3.
Ashish Ratnam, the new batter in. Yeah, that was a very good catch. The ball dipped a bit quick than he expected. He should have put down a cape so that he would look like a Superman.
Yeah, nice to see Bam, who's come into the team today in place of Bipin Khatri, make a contribution. We'll hopefully see him with the bat later on as well. Strange just to see that the 5 bowlers used for the APF as well. Surely today's bottom of the table clash, a decent chance to maybe see a 6th or 7th bowler. There he is, the groundsman, clinging on. He won't forget that moment in a hurry, will he? It's very well struck as well. And what's more, he was protecting his covers from any damage. Good work from the groundsman team.
Yeah, I think the technique, if you look at the technique, his eyes was all the way when the ball hit his hand. I think he plays cricket.
Well, if he doesn't, get him involved because he's clung on to a good one in the deep. We've seen, there's another angle of it. Look at that. So composed. His two mates are running out of the way and he said, don't worry lads, I've got this. I'll hold on in the deep. Better than some of the efforts we've seen. Nandan Yadav back into the attack. He has bowled well without fortune really.
That's very well bowled. Got an edge. Back to the third man region just for a single. Nandan Yadav has bowled pretty well throughout the tournament, I must say. With his cutters and stuff.
Yeah, and the left-hander has asked for a different cap to be brought on for him. It's his helmet. He wants that cap replaced, and understandably so with the extra pace of Yadav. Did face up to just the 1 ball though with that cap, and he said enough is enough. Ratnam, he said give me the helmet, get it on. Certainly Yadav, I think, has been the pick of the local fast bowlers for me. Himself and Gulshan Jah have been very impressive.
Yes, he has. And it was a very good sweep shot to the fast bowler. You rarely see that.
It wasn't really a sweep shot. It was more of a kind of a nudge around the corner to a delivery that was angling down that way. He has taken the attack though, hasn't he, Raj Bam? 20 from just 9 deliveries, 2 6s and 1 4 in that time. We haven't seen many strike rates like that in the tournament.
No, we haven't. I mean, apart from Rohit Bodel.
Nicely bowled. That's the off-cutter that he's exploited so beautifully. Back of a length, jars into the turf. all the pace taken out of it, and the batter ends up just dropping his hands, not able to play any strokes to that dot ball.
And you could hear the grunt that Yadav made when he released the ball. That is what effort, when you put on an effort, the bowlers usually do that.
Can you get them to... Fuller this time, good angle. Still no reward in terms of the wickets column for Nandan Yadav, but he's been very strong. Good tight over this, the 16th one, just zapped some of that momentum that Kaif and Bam were building. Ratnam really needs to get off strike. He's going to try and do it, but it's a pretty risky run. Direct hit would have been gone. It was excellent fielding, picked up cleanly. Probably only had one stump to aim at. This would have been the run out of the tournament. I think this was gone. What do you think, Johnny?
Just a jab. Again, the batsmen, they are plunking the bat in the crease. They haven't driven the bat.
Would have been gone, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Tony,
definitely.
not Johnny, of course. Your nickname's getting me confused, Paresh. Paresh Tony Lahani.
So call me Paresh.
I can't. Tony Gregg stuck in my head now, thanks to your uncle. Your uncle told us that brilliant story of why you've been called Tony. What age were you when he called it? 8 years old, was it?
Yeah.
8 years old. He said, "You're not Paresh anymore. I'm going to christen you Tony. Tony Lahani." It's a lovely ring to Tony Lahani as well. I need to get that on your passport, Tony. Swing and some contact from the glove, but an outstanding over. Slower ball closes that one out. 16 gone. And it's 97 for 3. Well, Paresh, we've got a change of pads between the two batters. This tournament, the THCA Pro Club Championship, continues to show us things we've never seen before, and the umpires looking over them going, "Boys, what are you doing?"
Yes, exactly. I mean, if the pad has come from the dugout, we could have understand it. But two batsmen batting in the crease, they're exchanging the pad.
Yeah, strange scenes. The wind continues to blow across the ground. A lovely Nepal national flag flying alongside the THCA Pro Club Championship flags. It's coming stronger and stronger, in fact, and it's coming, as we'll look in a moment now, it's coming from left to right. So it'll be forcing the ball away from the left-handers. And the cameramen, they're not finding it easy up there. I think of all the places you want to be right now, probably not up in the camera gantry. Great work by our team. They're trying to not getting much shelter there either, are they? Just hope it doesn't take off. Heavy, lads. Keep up the great work. Chipped into the sky. Going to be probably a single. They're going to come back for the second, in fact. Take on the throw, and we'll just get there.
Yeah, very good fielding by Kishore Mahato there. Kishore Mahato, sorry, the bowler.
Do you think the change of pads has made them run a bit better between the wickets, Tony?
Well, I don't see that. That was in the boundary. It was easy single. It was easy single, but they ran two.
Thuds into that changed pad, and they're going to get through for a quickly run leg by. They'll think of the overthrow, but Bam had run through so much that he won't be able to get back for the second. Leg by will be signalled. Good umpiring.
Yeah, I think definitely changing of the pads have increased their running in between the wickets by some miles.
And the hundreds come up in the 17th over to some delayed cheers. There's a captain looking on pretty firmly. I think he wants to get out there, doesn't he? Wants to make a contribution. His side so far have been poor in this tournament, but today they've been excellent. Bringing up the 100 in the 17th over. It's going to be Bam that will hold the key to getting up towards that 140 mark. Big swing and a miss. Mahado hits a good length.
Yeah, Mahado good length and a slower ball as well. Well, I don't think 140 can get 140. They have to put bat in the ball and get boundaries to get there.
Tony, just to clarify, did you say they can or they can't get 140?
It's possible and it's not possible as well.
Tony, you can't say that.
You have to be realistic.
Okay, so can they get to 140?
They might if they don't lose wickets. That is my point.
I'm still unsure as to which side of the fence you're on. I think you're firmly standing on top of it now. That's going to be a wide, miles outside the off stump as the ramp shot was attempted, but no contact made. Usually you just sit on the fence, Tony, but you've elevated yourself up to standing so you can see both sides.
No, actually, you have to be practical and realistic.
Okay, here we go then. Is it practical and realistic they'll achieve 140 in this innings?
You still don't know.
Get into the leg side. That's going to help the fielding side because he's picked out the man in the deep straight to him. And any hopes of 140 might be disappearing because of those wickets that Tony Lahani was talking about. And it's been nicely bowled and very well held. Misfortune for Bam, 5 yards either side, probably would have been a boundary, might have even gone for 6 in fact. Instead, he's managed to pick out the man in the deep who holds on to a simple catch, and that's going to be the 4th wicket to fall.
Yes, like I said, Lenny, if the wicket falls, then it's pretty hard to get to 140. He pulled that way from outside off stump straight to the fielder at mid wicket. It's 102 for 3. 102 for 4 in the 17th over.
That's why I was saying 4. I know, that's why I was saying 4. I was trying to help. Just one more look at that wicket, and yeah, real misfortune. The only man within 30, 40 yards on that leg side boundary. Skipper will come to the crease and he'll sprint through for a quick single. In fact, it's Ravi Chowdhury to the crease, not the captain. So the captain has sent in somebody else. Perhaps doesn't fancy the Pacers.
Yes, I think Ravi Chowdhury just came in and
hit down the ground towards the long on fielder who runs in. He's not going to get there. Completely mistimed. The non-striker wants a second, but Ratnam's happy to keep the strike and he'll do so with a single. End of the 17th over. 104 for 4 now. Press joking aside, this is the critical stage of the game now. 3 overs to go. If Dhaka tail away and finish with 120, the APF will be thinking about their first win. However, if they accelerate and get up to that much fabled 140 mark we're talking about, the THCA of Dhaka, they'll be in the ascendancy and surely they'll take their first win.
yeah, if they reach 120, it'll still be hard for Armed Police Force to get there because of the wicket. If they get a good start, 6 overs, 60 runs for no loss, I don't think that will happen.
But do you not feel that if the APF took in the momentum and restricted these last 3 overs, kept it to a run a ball, kept it to 120, they'll be pretty confident of chasing that down?
Still not, because of the pitch. I'm not confident in this pitch.
You don't seem too confident in any predictions either.
That is why I'm being realistic.
Okay, I got you. I hear you. This one's hit into the leg side. Again, no real timing. And oh no! Oh, he slipped over. He's nearly worn the ball on his head. And rather than Nandan Yadav having his first wicket, Bhuvan Karki has done very well not to do himself a nuisance. He slipped at the critical moment. He's still down. I think he's going to be okay. Let's hope. Let's take a look at this. It was really nasty. It should have been held, to be frank, but he slipped just at the key moment, collapsed in a heap, and he's still down. I think it's actually maybe just hopefully a bit of cramp or maybe a leg injury. We're going to have a hold up in play. Yeah, I think just a little bit of a muscle injury. Probably the gluteus maximus, as it's called, has gone into cramp. Let's hope he's okay. I don't think it's an impact injury. Let's look.
Yeah, the ball almost hit his head. He slipped. First, he was holding his hamstring muscle.
It's just the impact on the bum there, isn't it?
Yeah.
On the backside. The gluteus maximus in Latin, or the bum in Irish. You can call them either. And I think he should be fine. The issue was he slipped at the key moment just as he was about to take the catch. And for poor old Nandan Yadav, that sums up how unfortunate he's been. Excellent bowling again. Should have had his first wicket. Instead it's 4 runs to the total.
Yes, Nandan Yadav unlucky. And a needed boundary for THCA team. I must say, welcome boundary. Ratnam, the striker of the ball.
Do remember to send your messages in to us. You can use that hashtag 23forever, or you can get in touch with me at Cricket Badge on either Twitter or Instagram. Send in some messages. I've got a question here for Paresh Lahani coming in on my social media feed. This one's punched into the offside. Direct hit again is going to be out. It won't be. And instead they'll get a second. Poor old Nandan Yadav. He just can't cut a break, can he? 2 more runs to the total, when he probably should have had a dot ball and a run out.
Yes, exactly. That was a very good Yorker. The batsman came down the track and he had a single stump to aim at. Haywire throw.
I just wonder, did he have time, though, to toss it back to Nandan Yadav, who was very alert to the fact that the run-out chance was on. And as it was worked into the offside, surely there was a good chance just to underarm it to Yadav to whip the bails off and effect a professional run-out. So instead of Yadav having a wicket and a dot, he's gone for 6 runs and 2 balls. Real misfortune for the youngster. Brilliant bowling, surely, full, straight, and not out. What's happened here? The umpire's signalling dead ball. And Nandan Yadav can't believe it. I thought this was... I think it's not even going to count as a delivery. He's signalling a dead ball. Tony, what is going on here?
I have no idea why he's called that ball. That was dead straight.
I think what he might be saying is that the bowler's run straight down the wicket. He hasn't been able to see. But that shouldn't mean it's a dead ball. He's entitled to give it not out if he can't see. He can't adjudicate as to whether it's out or not. It should be a dot ball, but we don't actually know whether it is. He was clearly signalling the umpire's signal of dead ball, which means the ball doesn't actually exist in the book. For me, it was full, it was straight, and it was out. And poor old Nandan Yadav, what is going on here? Oh, brilliant bowling. This is outstanding. This is a great example. A boy's going to be run here. Great example of why you can never look at a scorecard and judge as to how someone's performed. Yadav may end up with none for 20 here. He should have had 3 for 12.
Yes, exactly. Let's see. And he's not even in front of the umpire. The umpire could see everything.
We're only going to find out if that's a dot when we get to the end of the over, because I think it's a dot. We should have 2 more balls. If the dead ball signal applies, we're going to have 3 more balls, but I think we should have 2 more balls in the over, because I think he was trying to say it's not out because he couldn't see, perhaps. I don't know.
But in the replay, we could see that the umpire has the whole vision.
Hit into the sky now, surely. Who's going to nestle under it? Yadav goes after it himself. Oh, would you believe it? We could have had 4 wickets in this over. We've somehow had runs aplenty, controversy aplenty. No one knows how many balls are to go. What exactly is going on, Paresh?
Yeah, it's all happening in this over. The 18th over. Nandan Yadav. It's very, very unlucky.
So here we go. If it was a dot from the third delivery, our scorers haven't put that in yet. If it was a dot, this is going to be the last ball of the over. If it wasn't a dot, and the dead ball signal was intentional and did apply, we're going to have 2 balls left. I don't know. Usually I'd always give you 100% factual truths. Right now, I have no idea what's happening. I'm only going to find out when the umpire calls over, really, Paresh, aren't we?
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Excellent skills again. Now, over to the umpire. And the umpire says 1 to come. So his dead ball signal was valid. Why it was a dead ball, tell me, Paresh.
We have no idea from upstairs here, because the umpire could see everything what was happening in that shout. We could see that in the replay.
Neither of the bails fell off at either end. Obviously, the Stephen Finn law, as it's known, if the bowler accidentally strikes the bails off at the non-striker's end, then it's a no ball. It wasn't a no ball. It was a dead ball that's been given by the umpire. We still don't know why. We'll try and find out for you. We're going to send our man off to go speak to the match referee in a moment and see if we can find out. Hit down the ground, going to be probably a couple. Poor old Nandan Yadav has bowled the most excellent over. This is probably going to be run out, I think, now, because he's jumped out of the way of the ball. Just when we thought the over couldn't get any more dramatic, we're going to go upstairs to the third umpire. Yadav's either going to finish with none for 19 or none for 20. He should have had 2, if not 3 wickets in the over. There should have been run-outs. There may well be a run-out now from the final ball. The throw went to the keeper's end. And let's take a look at this. I think this is out thanks to that jump.
Oh, God. Close.
Yeah, it looks close. We have to go to the other angle. We cannot see from this angle, though. Yeah.
This is really close. Let's take a look. Watch the line. I think this is gone,
Yeah.
but only just. And that was the key frame. Where the bat was on the line, you could see the bails clearly disturbed. There. Oh, back one. Back one. Oh, forward. Oh. I think this is gone, but only just.
It's very, very tight here. We need another angle.
Yeah, I think the might be the reverse angle may well have obstructed the way. I'm not sure which way the umpire is going to go here. It was a good piece of fielding and a pretty average piece of running because he jumped to try and get out of the way of the throw. The 18th over of game number 9 of the series has provided sheer drama, and the heartbeat still continues to pump. If you go forward 2 frames, stop it. The bail's clearly dislodged, the bat not over the line. I think it's out only thanks to that frame.
Yeah, I think too. That's out. The line belongs to the umpire. We can.
And the decision is given out, 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 and away he goes. Very good piece of work by the third umpire. Not an easy one. An over full of drama. Nandan Yadav finishes with the excellent figures of none for 19. He should have had 1, 2, or 3 for 12 probably. Instead, none for 19 for him. Second run out of the innings being effective. And at the end of the 18th over, The score is 114 for 5. So just received word from the match referee, who's been kind enough to get the official word from the umpires across to us. The reason it was given as a dead ball, one of the outfielders, we don't know which one, was moving. Now, you're allowed to walk towards the field of play, towards the action, towards the middle, which the coach would tell you to walk in towards the batter predominantly to try and anticipate the ball. You're not allowed in the laws of the game to move side to side, and one of those fielders right at the point of delivery for poor old Nandan Yadav went too much side to side for the liking of the umpire. It might have been 3 or 4 yards. So before he's even made his decision in terms of whether it was going to be out or not out, he signalled dead ball. The ball doesn't exist in the books. How unlucky do you have to be as Nandan Yadav? That would have been out surely.
Yes, exactly, and the moving fielder is the culprit, I must say. And there was a misfield, the last ball.
I think that moving fielder owes Nandan Yadav a beer tonight, to say the least. The skipper to the crease, Musharraf, who's going to try and wield the willow in the final couple of overs. He'll start by picking up a single down to long on. Very dramatic over. I'm just going to repeat it once more. Yadav, none for 19 from 4. He was excellent. Should have had probably 3 for 12.
Yes, exactly. You're absolutely right, Lenny. Kishore Mahato, with his last over, he's given 19 in 3.2. Hasn't picked a wicket, though.
Yeah, nicely bowled. None for 19. That's a slower ball again. Just a couple of bounces through to Pradeep Iyer. It's been a strange innings for the THCA, but it's been their best performance of the bat so far. The hopes of 140 seem to have dissipated with the dismissals of the big hitting Bam and Kaif, who both struck it well over a run a ball. Seen right from the start of this week, nobody, really with the exception of Kaif himself actually, come in and hit the ball with real authority right from the off. Many of the impressive batting performances have tended to be batters who've been out there a while. This will be a wide outside the off stump.
Yeah, the intent was right, but the line was wrong. The length was very good. But the line, it should have been on middle stump, middle off stump, or even outside off stump.
Yeah, but I think that's what he's trying to do, in fairness to him. It's just ragged square from that off cutter. I don't think the line was that bad. Goes a bit straighter this time into the sky. Going to go over the head of the fielder. It's going to skip away across the turf with the additional spin provided by the off cut. And going straighter has cost him 4.
Yes, got a top edge. It went over the short third and backward point and went to the boundary for 4 runs. Yeah, and now THCA team, they have crossed 120. They are 121 for 5. The current rate is 6.48.
Smashed into the leg side. So they've got past that 120 mark. Determined to get an opinion off you one way or the other, Paresh. Only a one-word answer, please, no more. Is that going to be a winning score?
Yes.
Oh, there we are. Okay. Well, we got him whenever Tony gives us something factual, we need to know that in the book. So, in the 19th over, the first innings. Paresh says yes. There we go. And that means that you think the THCA are going to take the win.
Yes, of course. Because that 120 score is a psychological winner.
Come on, the AFP. 19 gone. 1-2-2 for 5.
This 6 overs does alone, we've seen everything. Lads,
So here we go. Pradeep Irie is going to take the gloves off, give them to someone else, and bowl the 20th over. I guess when you're the captain, you can do what you want. So he says, Lokesh, take the gloves, please. I'm not going to give the final over to Deepak Bahara. I'm going to come in and bowl a few rather filthy medium pacers.
Yes, he's a decent medium pacer, but doesn't mix the ball. Doesn't have any variation. I've played with him together for a number of years. I haven't seen him mix the pace. I batted against him. I have never seen him mix the pace.
Okay, maybe he's going to have learnt from this surface. Will we see 6 full medium pace deliveries from the keeper, batter, captain of the APF? Or will we see some cutters and some learning from the surface? Here comes the skipper, Pradeep Irie. He starts with probably a medium pacer. He'll be hit into the deep for a couple. This probably wasn't in the original playbook to bowl your keeper the 20th and final over the innings.
No, it wasn't, because I think he came to ball because there are no bowlers left to bowl.
Hit down the ground and smashed nice and straight. It's going to be taken. Pradeep Irie says, you lads, you bowlers, you don't know what you're doing. I'll take the gloves off and I'll rattle out a few. He picks up his first wicket. Deepak Bahara did have overs left. He had the 1 over left. But I think that was an off cutter. Was that an off cutter?
Well, we'll have to see that replay again.
So he's learnt, hasn't he, Pradeep Irie? He's learnt that the way to go on this wicket is to bowl off cutters. And it's worked the oracle. Finds the 6th wicket breakthrough. Hit down the ground, was pretty well struck, but very few batters have been able to clear the infield. A good catch held at long off by Sandeep Jura. Excellent fielder. We'll see him with the bat later. And the off cutter works for Pradeep Irie. 4 deliveries remain. 1, 2, 4 for 6. So the man with no name to the crease and no shirt number at the non-striker's end. He's a big hitting right-hander though. I think it's Uttam Thapamagar. He's just lost his number 69 shirt. Maybe, in fairness to Dhaka, 2 games in 2 days, maybe it was dirty, so he might have put on a clean one. In fact, if I remember correctly, I think he dived in the dust at one point, so we'll give Uttam Thapamagar a break this time. Pradeep Irie has usual shirt number 69, of course. 4 to go. Full and straight, and so nearly a 2nd wicket.
Was that a cutter or the medium pacer?
I think his stock delivery looks like a cutter to me, much to the contrary of what you were telling us, Paresh.
Yeah, he never used to bowl cutters to me.
I think in these conditions you really have to go that way. The wind is starting to wreak havoc really because it's getting stronger and stronger and the bails are struggling to stay on. I wonder, do we have a set of heavy bails that might need to come into play? That's a definite cutter, the leg cutter. Great skills from Pradeep Irie.
Good bowling by Irie. Bowling off cutters and leg cutters. So Lenny, 2 balls remaining. Can they go near 130?
Well, I've turned into an ardent armed police force fan, given your absolute assertion that there's no way they can win this match. Only the Dhaka side can win, you told me.
Wide ball.
That's the leg cutter attempted again, but it drifts down the leg side. It'll be signalled as a wide. So every run that Irie can save here at the death. Hopefully they're only chasing down 126, 127. And I think the men in orange are going to get their first victory and send the boys back to Bangladesh.
We'll wait and see.
Nicely bowled. 2 in the over. Pradeep Bairi, why have you been wicket keeping?
I don't think they are another keepers. He's a regular keeper though. So Lokesh could have kept, and he could have bowled and fielded.
I suppose the whole point is, if this is an actual tactic, nicely bowled right in towards the leg stump and cleans up the skipper. Big swing across the line and some frustration for him. But if it's a tactic and you genuinely have a keeper who bowls and they the drinks at the 10 over mark, that's fine. You know, maybe Pradeep Bairi could have had the gloves for the first 10 overs and then Lokesh Bam could have taken them over, and then Irie can bowl overs 11, 13, 15 and 17, something like that. But it just felt a bit to me like an afterthought. Oh well, maybe I'll bowl the 20th. And he's ended up with excellent figures, 2 for 3, and probably shown that he should have been bowling a bit more during this week.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Lenny. The captain getting the captain. Fuad Hassan, the replacement of Imran Khan at the crease now.
Yeah, back into the team today, and he's only going to have 1 ball to face. Never a nice thing to do. Can he find a way to get a couple of runs to his total? Excellent final over, just 3 runs from it. Here comes Irie. Oh, he's so nearly going to finish with 3. It's going to be a run out. Oh dear. It's been a pretty extraordinary closing commentary stint. We've seen rather a lot of bizarre cricket, including an attempted run on the final delivery, which is going to lead to a run out. The run out of Fuad Hassan. And from a very promising position of at one stage 102 for 3, they've collapsed to finish their 20 overs with 125 for 8. Will it be enough is the big question.
Yeah, I think that will be enough.
So an excellent effort from Pradeep Bairi at the death. 2 for 3 he's going to end with from his solitary over. Fantastic figures as the Talent Cricket Academy of Dhaka's batting just fell away. Good contributions at the top. The 2 openers in particular who put on 47. And then the middle order of Kaif, who was promoted up to number 3, and Bam alongside Ratnam put in some good efforts. But it's been a pretty low-key affair to start game day number 5. These 2 sides are already knocked out of the competition, and in my opinion, my power rankings of the tournament, they're firmly the 7th and 8th best sides on offer. Can't put any of these into any way like the top 6. And even if they take a victory today, they will have a chance to play off for 5th, of course. They will get 1 more match. If you lose, you're literally not just knocked out, you're also going home.
Yes, Andrew.
Let's take a look at the batting highlights. Paresh, you were on call for much of this. Talk us through the efforts of Baranaro and Rahman and Kaif and Bam.
Yeah, that was a very poor piece of fielding there. And good hitting by the batters as well. They were calm and collected.
Yeah, 7 boundaries between Baranaro and Rahman, the 2 openers, all along the ground. 7 fours between them. Baranaro made 30 off 34 deliveries, whilst Rahman made 22 off 35, much more cautious and slower. But they combined nicely because they got the THCA to a position where they had a beautiful platform to attack from. That's exactly what they did. That came off the no ball, the back foot no ball from the mystery spinner. And then it was over to the big hitters. Kaif and Bam, 2 6s apiece. Some really good striking on display, Paresh.
Yes, exactly. That was again, I think, played it deliberately, not an edge.
There's another one of the big hits into the leg side. Bam was excellent, 21 off just 13 deliveries. And Ratnam tried getting in on the action as well. In fact, that was the 6, from Kaif down the ground. And then some fortune for Ratnam. He had 2 4s in his innings of 19. That one just cannoning back onto the rope. But after this final 6, which was so unfortunate for Nadan Yadav, should have been dismissed, there wasn't much more to cheer about. 1-2-5 they finished with.
Yet another edge. Down to the 3rd man, bounded for 4 runs.
And that's the batting card Lots of contributions, but no one really kicked on as such. Take a look at the 8 wickets to fall now. A few of them in some rather calamitous circumstances. The first one to go was Rahman, who fell to a run out. It was a drop catch, and then the two batters ended up at the same end. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, exactly. Comedy of errors. The catch was dropped, but he got the other non-striker run out.
This was the dismissal of Baranaro, the sole wicket that Karki, or one of the 2 wickets that Karki picked up. He also dismissed Abidor Kaif to that good catch, which was very important. And then misfortune for Bam. Ratella held on to a simple one in the deep off the ball in Mojado. And then another run out. This one only just after the batter decided to try and hurdle over it in sprinter fashion. And in the final over, it was all about Irie. 2 wickets for him.
Yes, exactly. Ori bowled very good over. 2 overs, only 3 runs given. 1 over, only 3 runs given, and 1 was a wide as well.
And then this rather hilarious run out from the final delivery, where the lad said, "Oh dear, which one of us is out?" I did hit it, he says. There's the bowling figures. 2 wickets apiece for the skipper, and Buan Karki was pretty expensive, going at 8 and over more than anyone else. Hit for a few big sixes. That gets us to the halfway stage of game number 9. It's the exact halfway point of the tournament, if you can do your maths. And we're going to go away and have a good break. Back with you in about 10 minutes' time with all the action. Which of these 2 sides will finish 3rd in Group B? Will it be the THCA of Dhaka, or will it be the home side, the Armed Police Force? They'll need 126 to win. Come back and join us then. Sorry, what's happening here? It's me and you, and then.
Sir, we are going to be. भाइ भइसक्यो नि हामी हिँड्यौँ नि देखेर त्यही भित्रै देखेर गाइस ल सकेन ब्याट्सम्यान फिल्डर्स That's not good.
Well, good morning. We're in Barawa in Lumbini province for day number 5, game number 9 this morning, the THCA Pro Club Championship. Andrew Leonard here with you to guide you through every ball of what is in essence a bottom of the table clash. Both sides lost their opening 2 matches and both have been knocked out of contention for the tournament proper. However, they're playing for another game on the TV because if they win, they will advance to our 5th v 6th place playoff, which will be contested between the 2 third-place finishers in the group stages, and that game comes up on Friday in a few days' time. Who will it be? Is it going to be the Armed Police Force of Nepal, or will it be the Talent Hunt Cricket Academy from Dhaka in Bangladesh? They've won the toss, they've batted first, and they have posted 125 for 8. Delighted to have Johnny Barron alongside me. 125 for 8. Paresh has finally got off the fence and he's given us an opinion. He said that Dhaka have enough runs. Johnny, what do you think?
Well, yes, I need to give an opinion here, I think, don't I? Good question. I think the Armed Police Force have been pretty under par and pretty unspectacular as well through the course of this competition. Haven't actually broken 100, have they, in the course of the 2 games so far? But I think they've played well below the potential that they should be showing. But it'll be interesting. I am going to back and stick my neck out. I'm going to think they're going to chase this down.
Okay, so we've got Ireland and England versus Nepal today. And a very confident-looking Tony Lahani in the back of the box. He's at a fresh... Come on, Tony. Come and say hello. Stay with us for 1 sec. Come on, Tony. Just for 1 sec. Just come here for 1 second.
He's not having it.
No, thank you. He said, I want to show you his lovely clean shave that he's had, which I'm going to hopefully show you tomorrow. Get down to the barbers. And anyway, either way, it's going to be 1-2-6 to win for the Armed Police Force. Joking aside, though, Johnny, it's probably right about par.
Yeah, through the course of this entire competition, 139
I think, is still the highest score, isn't it, that we've seen scored by the Army Club. I think in their first match, that seems an age ago. But yeah, about, well, the mid-120s, the early 130s, you're usually getting a game of cricket that goes the distance with those kind of scores.
I definitely think it's a wicket that you can get to 140, 150 on if you bat well. But the reason I'm saying 125 is par is it seems to have been in and around the average score in batting conditions that have been difficult. A lot for the APF is going to ride on the fortunes and the fate of Pradeep Irie. It's been a bit of a one-man show with the bat for them this week. Got out early in the second game, and once he was gone, there was no chance at all.
Let's play!
Still no signs of Rick Gautam. He's been left out for the second game in a row, which is disappointing. Opening up the bowling, it's going to be Raj Bam from the pavilion end of the ground. And it's 1-2-6 to win. Here we go. Immediate hint of shape away from the right-hander. We've seen the THCA seam bowlers struggle.
Yes, often at the top has been the problem, hasn't it? Just getting their line and length, guilty of a number of different, well, a number of variations of wides that we've seen through the course of this campaign. It's actually keeping control has been their main problem.
It's a third different opening partnership as well for the APF. A lovely cut shot. Ayamush Bam has got things off to a flyer. We think the man who's come into the side today, in fact it's not, it's Deepak Bahara, who's cut this away for 4.
Nice bit of batting. The width offered. Just seeing it. Dispatched. Thank you very much.
The third different opening partner in 3 games for Pradeep Irie. The first game, of course, it was Rick Gautam, who's the former Nepal under-19 captain who has shown so much promise. Yesterday it was Lokesh Bam, that went pretty poorly. And now they've gone to the third of 3 options, Deepak Bahara. A nice bounce that thuds up into the gloves, and a bit of a stare and maybe a word or two from Raj Bam.
Better delivery, much better delivery. Bit of back leg as well. Just need to keep away from width. Width is a killer. Not going to miss out really, especially with the field.
Yeah, just the 2 fielders allowed outside the circle, and with that cut shot flying away for 4, deep extra cover's gone out, and third man in place. No one in the deep on the leg side. In fact, rather remarkably, there's only 2 fielders out there, so this is going to be almost like a free hit. No deep square leg in place. You get it anywhere into the leg side, you're going to get good reward, and that's a nice pickup shot for 4.
Yes, it is. Just advancing down the track. Just a flick of the wrists. Couple of bounces. Away through mid-wicket. 4 runs.
He really enjoyed that, didn't he? Very rare you see a 7-2 field bowled within T20 cricket. Can often see that utilised in 4-day cricket with the red ball, or even sometimes in ODI cricket with somebody like a Tim Murtagh, or somebody who's very consistent outside the off stump. The reason why you don't see it in T20 cricket too often, with 10 wickets in hand on a power play, batters can afford to take the risk of hitting across the line, and that's exactly what he did so well there. This time that's the perfect outswinger. Lovely shape and a good line.
To some extent, it's almost catering for the bad ball, isn't it? Just the man out at third man, the deep extra cover. And actually, the natural play, if you get anything on the stumps, is to whip it through on the onside, where there's acres of space to play with. It's a bold, bold move, safe to say.
I think the intention, though, is with the outswing to get it outside that 4th stump line. But when you go too straight, you're going to get into trouble. This time it's only a single. But you've got to get outside that sort of 4th, 5th stump channel with this rather remarkable field we've seen set. It's a really good start, though, for the APF. End of the first. It's 9 for none.
No, just me. You missed out, mate. You missed out. You've had a shocker. It'll make mine all the more sweet, though.
There's the APF bench. Think they're going to be pretty disappointed with their efforts throughout the tournament thus far?
Yeah, I think it's a campaign that never really got off the mark, really. And for shades, actually, today in the middle overs, and especially the base they built up at the top, felt they might be touching something north of 140 and getting something really, really competitive. Just fell away again at the end. I mean, it was a much better performance for the bat compared to what we've seen in the first two games. But yeah, I think this side actually has a little bit more talent than the scores and the results would suggest, but they just haven't quite come to the party.
That's the THCA, the THCA side. What about the APF? Same sort of question. They're going to be being disappointed with their efforts, won't they? The home side, they know the home conditions, lost 2 games very heavily, knocked out of the competition inside a couple of days.
Yeah, it's been really disappointing. Low scores especially. And the bowling's been a bit of a mixed bag through the course of the competition.
Kaif to open up. We've seen all sorts of issues with his radar. He opened the tournament with a 12 ball over, and it's generally been big long wides outside the off stump. I think the coaches might have tried to do a little bit of restorative action, because I've noticed a change in his angles and his run-ups. Still has to get the radar right. Can he do it?
Yeah, the thing is with Kaif is you've got the makings or the workings of a fairly decent cricketer here, because he hits a long ball, good striker, good timer. If they can just get the biomechanics of his bowling action together, you've got a pretty reasonable all-rounder potentially.
And after a leg side wide, he's taken fine leg out and he's gone to a 7-2 offside field. And he's going to be smashed away for 4. That's one of the strangest field placings I've seen. Now, not too sure what's going on. It's a big full toss and hammered handsomely by Bahara, who's looked really good in this new role at the top of the order.
Yeah, he has. It's been a lively start. It's a horrible delivery. Look at that. Waist high full toss. Thank you very much. I think anybody on the park could put that one away.
And this is the problem. If you're a coach watching on, it's very difficult to make significant changes in the middle of a competition. And I can already see the angle and the approach and the attempts have been changed for Kaif. He doesn't even seem to be bowling that natural away swing that he was bowling in the first 2 games. And it can be difficult. It can put a bowler off their lines and their lengths.
Well, if we put it into golfing parlance, this is where the phrase comes from, you've got to hit 10,000 balls if you're going to tinker with your technique. And if you're in theatre, if you like, which is what we are, we're in the mix of a competition, to make those changes and to trust those changes. A very, very difficult skill indeed.
It's more like it from Kaif, well bowled. And it will work sometimes. It's just to get a consistency of that for any bowler to then bowl 5 or 6 balls where they're intending is going to be very difficult with what looks like a significant technical change at the top of his run-up.
I was chatting to the coach, Chris Adams, actually, back in the UK just before I came out. I used to work with him at Surrey. And he said he would just make minor tweaks, minor adjustments to anybody's technique at any one stage.
Nicely bowled, dug into the pitch, and Kaif certainly not attempting to bowl the big outswingers that we've seen him. He's coming in much straighter, angling the wrist behind the left of the ball and just trying to bowl it into the wicket. So he's trying to get it there, as opposed to before he was coming there and coming a bit more round arm from that very straight run up.
What Chris said was he said it was the communication between the coach and the player and the articulation of what he wanted to do, and to try and simplify it as brutally as possible, and to try and get the player to understand what they're trying to achieve.
Hit into the offside, down towards the third man fielder who can't quite get there. Really good effort, in fact, from Raj Bam, I think it might be. It's actually, in correction, it's Riman down there. Oh, it is Raj Bam down there. Good effort, got both hands to it and kept it to just 1. Definitely not a catching chance, Johnny.
Yeah, a very good bit of fielding, because it was a horrible bounce, wasn't it? The kind of thing that potentially is going to rearrange your front set of teeth.
And that's back to where he was a little bit before. Not the worst start for Kaif. 6 runs from the over, and crucially only the 1 wide. So maybe those actions have helped a bit. 2 overs gone. It's 15 for none.
3 in the day, it's trouble. 2's okay, 3 in the day, it's trouble.
How do you see this batting order lining up, Johnny? Surely Sandeep Johar will be at 3, and then will maybe it be Lokesh Bam at 4?
Yeah, Rutella's got some runs in this tournament as well. He's tended to perform well, be involved with bat and ball through the course of the runs so far.
Poor old Pradeep Irie is feeling a little bit out of the action out there at the non-strikers end. He's only faced one of the 12 deliveries so far, as Bahara's fairly farmed the strike. Bahara 14 off 11, score 15 for none. They only need about a run a ball, pretty much, particularly actually with this start. They now basically need exactly a run a ball. That tinkering with the 7-2 offside field is going to end. They'll go to a 6-3 field. The 3 fielders on the leg side include one of the 2 men outside the 30-yard circle. That's deep square leg in place now. It means Bahara can guide it down to third man for 1, which is the other fielder outside the circle. Here comes Irie.
Yeah, I think this is a better field, isn't it? Just gives you a little bit more cover on either side of the wicket, with third man in play and the deep square leg, because at this stage that's where the batsman's looking to put it, aren't they? Especially up and over the infield on the onside.
Big swing and a miss. Lovely shape again from Bam, away from the right-hander. Pradeep Irie's just anxious to get bat on ball, a little bit like his innings yesterday. It was 1 off 11. If he doesn't get some boundaries away early, he gets very fidgety, moves around the crease, and he gets a bit nervy. He wants to get his side off to flying starts. Won't get off the mark. Oh, he will, because of a tumble for the fine leg fielder. And that's the local man, Thapa Magar. And finally, Pradeep Irie gets off the mark, probably off a glove as much as anything.
Bit of bounce. Oh dear. It's another slip, isn't it? Not easy, the footwork out there.
We've got more drama. And it's the same umpire who gave a lot of tape on those fingers, as most keepers tend to have.
Well, I don't think it's straightforward. As we've said all the way through, there's been a little bit of variable bounce behind the stumps, a bit of variable carry as well, and it's a little bit of dust around, and you know as a keeper you're gonna be taking the ball in the half volley, a couple of bounces, there's the odd erratic throw to deal with. It's certainly not straightforward.
Johnny, with all these breaks in play, I think it's time for us to have a task up here in the commentary box. Time for us to power rank these sides. So power rankings, if you don't know what they are, you see Scotty Stars do a lot of these during the IPL. They're purely our opinion on the current, today, the state of play, where, given the performances of the team so far, how they've played, how they've performed, in a reverse chronological order, as to the 8th to first ranked sides in the tournament. It won't be their finishing position. In fact, it's going to be impossible to be if we rank these two as 7th and 8th, because one of them is going to finish 5th or 6th, in fact. But just our opinion, so maybe at the end of this over we might start running through that. God, another break in play. We do have a game at 2 o'clock, guys.
Well, one thing we can say is that we've got 7 and 8 here, and I guess the outcome of this game will determine which number each has.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that everyone can agree on. Definitely the two weakest sides in the tournament in terms of performances so far. Nicely bowled by Bam. Bahara can only play and miss. Do you think maybe some of the strongest sides are actually, ironically, in this Group B as well? Both the Uttar Pradesh 11 and the Nepal Army side have looked really good.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if we're going from top to bottom, the Nepal Army side, I think, are comfortably the best, or most equipped side, certainly in these conditions. And you'd fancy them to pick up the crown at the end in the big Super Saturday match.
Comes off the toe of the bat, can't pierce the infield. It's a packed ring offside field, isn't it? 5 fielders from backward point to mid-off.
Yeah, I also think there's some kind of what I would call sort of dark horses. A couple of sides have actually lost a game. You know, the Malaysian 11 won yesterday and won very convincingly. And actually, you know, the first game of the tournament they lost to the CAR 11. Well, they weren't a million miles away from getting something competitive there. I think they're quite a dangerous they're quite a dangerous draw in that semi-final, I would say. Difficult to know how good the CR 11 are because they haven't really been pushed in the tournament thus far.
Oh, big swing and a miss. That should have been hammered away for 4, really. It was a full toss that's been missed out on. It was a lengthy third over. 2 runs have come from it. It's 17 for none. Andrew Leonard here with Johnny Barron talking about our power rankings. Okay, come on then, Johnny. So we reckon these two are 7th and 8th. Where are we placing them? Which is below which? I'll leave this one up to you.
Very tight. I feel the way this game might go. I think THCA Dhaka are probably number 8 for me.
Okay, so there we are. We've got 2 of the 8 ranked. The Talent Hunt Cricket Academy and Dhaka in the power rankings. They're down at number 8. The Armed Police Force, we're going to put them in at number 7. They've had a disappointing week. Now, this is where it starts to get a bit tricky because all of the other 6 sides, they've all won at least 1 game, if I'm correct in that. In fact, correction. Sorry, I think one of those sides, the Nepal Police Club, isn't it? They've lost 2 games. So maybe they should, by all rights, be in 6th place. Would that be fair?
Yeah, they lost 2 games.
Yeah, they could go rocketing up those rankings with a win today and still get through the group with only 2 points. Oh dear, Kaif is back to his issues with the wides outside the off stump.
Yeah, they lost to Push Sports by 1 run. That was a tight one. The Nepal Police Club.
Yeah, they're going to need this afternoon to beat the Malaysia 11. And if they do that, they'll also need to beat them pretty convincingly to get above their net run rate. And then they're going to need a favour from the home side, the Cricket Association of Rupendahe 11, to stay perfect. If they do that, then there'll be 3 teams with 2 points apiece as Irie gets through for the single. So, who might slot into 5th? I think the bottom 3 are probably the easiest 3. Of the sides that have all won at least 1 game, it's obviously going to have to be the Malaysia side or the Push Sports Delhi side. Maybe Push Sports Delhi in 5th?
Yeah, I think that's fair enough from what we witnessed yesterday. I think I've worked out 1 and 2.
Okay, well then we're into the Fab 4. That one thuds into almost the handle of the bat. Is it the Malaysian side with just 1 win you'd have in 4th, or do you think they showed enough in their win yesterday to maybe get above one of the 3 sides who've won all 2 games?
I think they're a dangerous draw, I have to say. I would have them probably at 3rd.
Okay, well, which of the 3 winning sides then, Johnny, who won 2 from 2, are you going to rank all the way down in 4th? Big swing and a miss from Bahara, looking to hit across the line again.
Tricky. Yeah, I've stuffed myself there.
It's already in black and white, Johnny. It's already in the book. The Malaysia 11, they're already there in third. They're in the power rankings.
Yes, I forgot about the CR11. Yeah, this is difficult. Well,
you're sticking CAR in fourth, aren't you? Despite being 2 from 2.
I know.
They might be 3 from 3 in a moment.
I know, which means I might, drag myself home. I mean, I know where I am with the Nepal army. Obviously, they're not. I mean, not obviously, but I think they're the clear favourite. They've been very dominant in their performances so far.
So they're going in at number 1 in the power rankings. Who's second and fourth then? Uttar Pradesh side have been very impressive.
Yeah, I'd have Uttar Pradesh.
Oh, it's a nice stroke, but straight to the fielder. Won't be a single despite the slight fumble.
If I was allowed to rip up my betting slip and have another go, I'd probably be switching 3 and 4.
Far too late for that, Johnny.
I know.
This is the great thing about pen and paper. It's better than a computer. So here we are.
It's there.
We're going to see if we can get that held up to the camera. Maybe Sagar might be able to do that for us. We'll come back to me in 1 second. We'll get that held up properly. Nicely bowled. Here it is. Here's the power rankings from Lenny and Johnny as we get to the end of the 4. That's perfect. Don't move. No, that's lovely. I love that. In reverse order, the Talent Hunt Cricket Academy of Dhaka, they're at 8th. The Armed Police Force, the power rankings in 7th. The Nepal Police Club at 6th. They can still go through, though. Don't worry, they can still go through. Push Sports Delhi in 5th. Coach Puru Singh, forgive us. We know you can still get your side through to the semi-finals. They've won 2 from 2. And Johnny Barron stuck the CAR 11 all the way down in 4th in the power rankings. You wouldn't believe that, but he's done it. It wasn't me. I'm not taking the heat there. Malaysia 11 in 3rd. Uttar Pradesh in 2nd, and we reckon if these power rankings are right, it's going to end up being the Nepal Police side who are going to be lifting the inaugural Fancy Akara Pro Club Championship title.
Yeah, I have to claim, I guess, sort of for full disclosure, I think the 12 hours in the bus with those charming the Malaysian 11, I'm afraid, has possibly distorted my view on this, because they're such a lovely bunch. They were huge fun.
The Johnny Barron bias factor. We didn't take it into account. I've got that in the diary. Probably going to get criticism from someone on social media saying I put it into Thursday the 14th of April. I'd already used my sheet for Tuesday the 12th of April. But it's in there in black and white, Tony. Okay, it's in there. And we'll see whether we were right or wrong come the end of the tournament. Some good fun there, the power rankings on day number 5 of the tournament.
Yes, the tricky thing about doing things on television is that there's sort of clear and obvious evidence that we've come up with these things, of course.
Lovely shot. Takes the aerial route. Too short, too wide, and hammered away very powerfully by Deepak Bahara, who's moved into the 20s now in this new role up at the top of the order. And he looks to be thriving.
Yeah, taking advantage of the power play. Just banged in short, banged in wide, and you've just got to get it up and over. Did that nicely.
Yeah, that's a really good example of how to punish width. Stand tall, stay still, and hammer it away into the air. No risk in that shot. Change of pace, kept out. One of the issues for the Dhaka side, their spinners just probably been the weakest of the... Well, certainly, actually, these two teams, both of their spinners have been the weakest of the 8 sides.
Yeah, I think you're right, and that's meant an over-reliance on the pacers who've sprayed it around a bit as well. And you found that the most successful sides in this tournament have had a stack of left-arm spin, haven't they? And they've really exploited those conditions well.
That's maybe why the Nepal Army side are at the top of our power rankings. Nicely struck down the ground. I'm not sure he's quite got enough of it to go for 6, but he will get a 4 with a couple of bounces. Bahara has actually been really impressive. He's hogged the strike and he's also hogged the runs. He's got 24 of the 28 runs that have been added to the total so far, and they're going at exactly a run a ball and looking in full control, the Armed Police Force.
Well, they are indeed. No scalps either, and this is a lovely shot. Just got to get it over the infield. Couple of bounces. Didn't get the full piece of it, but did enough, didn't he, down towards us.
Right on the money, really good comeback. Too short earlier in the over, too full prior. That's the good length that's made it difficult to score off. Yeah, speaking of our power rankings again, the reason we, I think, both pretty strongly feel that the Nepal Army side has been the most impressive and deserves to be on top of those power rankings. Perfect with 2 from 2, the best net run rate in the tournament as well. Those 3 left arm spinners, Susham Bari, Shahab Alam, Kushal Malla, all with international experience. 12 overs of them is always going to tilt any game in your favour.
Yeah, because you're never going to get the economy rates sort of north of something significant as a batting side.
Full into the block hole attempted, but it ends up as a low full toss and nicely driven down the ground. And Pradeep Bairi has run that very poorly. Should have been a couple. Instead, Bahar is going to keep the strike again. He keeps doing it. 5 gone. It's 29 for none.
Nice shot. Clearly a good counter as he retains the strike, but it's not a great bit of running.
So an interesting tactic here from the Bangladeshi side. I think they're going to go straight through this power play without a single bowling change. So maybe just trying to get these overs of seam done early and then bring their spinners in when the fielding restrictions come into play. It's been pulled into the leg side. Just going to be a single as there's protection in the deep. Pradeep Bairi has only faced 6 balls somehow. Loves to get off to flying starts. What's he going to do here in the final over of the power play?
Well, his options, there's plenty on the offside because you've got a tight ring, but you've got no protection out either straight or square. There is a bit more protection out on the leg side.
Felt the kitchen sink was going to be thrown at it, and it was. He'll just get a single straight to the mid-off fielder. He almost looks a bit frustrated out there, not getting as much of the strike as he would have liked.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? You know, looking at all these deliveries in the power play, and this is clearly the easiest time to score. Just 2 men out.
Cut away, good diving stop. Such a tight ring field. 5 fielders up in the circle alongside the slip.
Yeah, big swing and a miss. Never easy. It is tough behind the stumps, especially if it's not your first suit.
Nicely worked into the leg side, but straight to the man at deep mid-wicket. It'll get us to the end of the power play. And 6 gone. And it's a pretty comfortable start for the Armed Police Force. The score 35 for none.
A little bit of fielding there, and that was a lovely shot through the offside. Going down the ground, a couple of bounces. Didn't quite make it on that occasion, but a pretty handy package.
So power play will be signalled by the umpire to end power play 1. We'll go into power play 2, the remaining 14 overs. 5 fielders allowed outside the circle. I think we'll see a lot of spin in this phase of the game, and it's going to be spin immediately in the shape of Sandeep Kumar to come in from the pavilion end of the Barawa cricket ground here. Johnny, this is quite simply the ball game, isn't it?
Starts to build. This is a good game. This will be a good game, I feel.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the THCA 11, they need wickets, and the Armed Police Force, they shouldn't lose a wicket. They are in a very good position. 41 for no loss in the 8th over. The current rate is 5.47.
But Paresh, where do you stand on court behind? Because I consider that as a batsman not walking. I consider that as big a crime as some of the other things that are perpetrated in cricket.
To be honest, Johnny, nobody's like Adam Gilchrist, who edges the ball, the slightest of edges, and he walks away.
Yes, they still say with Adam Gilchrist, actually, there are occasions when he was a bit of a naughty boy. Lapped reverse sweep there. It's a good bit of work, isn't it? Backward square. I think the point I want to make, Paresh, is, you look at role models, and you look at the way the game's played at professional, first class and test level and international level, and that's what youngsters... Oh, he hit the umpire in the end. It wasn't the bowler. Oh, so the umpire's okay. I thought that was a caught and bowl chance, but clearly he didn't get a hand on it, and the poor old umpire was taking it. He's still standing, thankfully. That could have been horrible. Oh, he's just ricocheted off his shoulder. Oh, dear. Wouldn't have been sighted. A horrible moment, that, Paresh.
Yeah, he'll get the bruise and the pain later in the evening.
Yeah, that could have been horrid, because if he got a deflection there, the umpire could have taken that in the face, which would have been horrendous. End of the over, 50 without loss after 9.
We must say that the reflexes of the umpire was a little slow.
Never easy, though, because you've got so much to concentrate on. He would have been unsighted as well, with a flurry of arms in front of him.
THCA 11 very in need of wicket now. A wicket or two will definitely get the armed police force under pressure.
Yeah, that's what they need. But actually, to be honest, wicket or two would be quite useful. They're actually keeping things quiet. 76 off 66. That kept getting larger. Shot through the offside. That's a nice bit of batting. Will that go for 4? It does. Yeah, that's a good shot. I think width outside the off stump against the left armers, you've absolutely got to take advantage of. And that's exactly what Deepak Papara did on that occasion.
Yes, it was a flamboyant cover drive by Bohra. The ball was pitched up and he took full toll of it. Look at that shot. All along the carpet.
Brute strength. Oh, a little tickle outside the off stump. That might be more value. I think it will be more value, and it is more value as that runs away for 4. And that'll help things, doesn't it? A couple of back-to-back boundaries. Just makes things a little bit easier. It's good calculated batting, this. He's played it with hands.
Yeah, played it with soft hands down to the third man. Boundary for 4 runs. Omar hit for 2 consecutive boundaries and plays a dot ball.
Yeah, Pradeep Singh, the captain, is actually going quite nicely here. Decent bit of bowling is followed through. Yeah, that required rate now, 68 off 63.
Very good stop of his own bowling, Omar.
Yeah, this could be a couple. I'll think about it. I'll think better of it. As the man running in does a good bit of work off the rope. But yeah, I think I'm going to labour this point, Paresh, but you need to keep the runs required and the balls left. You need to keep that gap between them as close as you can, can't you? Because that will determine your position in the game.
Yes, exactly. That is what was my point. But THCA are now under pressure because there are no wickets down for 16 after 10 overs.
Now we time for the drinks break. We'll take a little look at the highlights of this innings so far. And it'll be all boundaries. And most of them actually gone for 6.5 and 6 respectively. They'll be disappointed with that, MD Umar and Shandeep Kumar. But we'll have a quick break and we'll be back in a second with the next 10 overs or so. So 10 gone, 10 to go, 66 off 6 is the equation. Just above 6.5 and over. Should feel will be a relative dawdle. Sandeep Kumar continuing. Cut away nicely through square. There is a man out there, understandably, against the left-hander. Uttam Thapa Maga with the fielding. And they'll just get through for the single.
And the irony about this thing is, I mean, that is the way you should bat on these conditions. Well done, Armed Police Force, but I think it's a bit late now. They're already out of the tournament. Deepak Bohra had no hesitation to go over the long on for a maximum. There's another change in ball.
Yeah, Deepak Bahara has batted extremely well. 36 not out. In fact, now that'll be 42 not out because he's added a 6 into the piece as well. This has been backward point with a good catch. And Deepak Bahara goes for 42. And it's a nice catch by Fawad Hassan at backward point. And the Armed Police Force lose their first. It's 72 for 1.
This is the highest opening partnership of the tournament, 72. Look at the replay again. He hit a 6 in the first ball. He didn't have to play that on in the air. Just play it on the ground, take a single, or get the gaps and get 4s. The ball was there to hit.
Commentator's curse. Paresh, that's what that's called. I just built him up for a man of the match award. Next ball he goes, Paresh. Ah, dear. This game comes back to haunt you.
Yeah, exactly, Johnny. Ayushman Bum comes to bat at number 3.
Yeah, he's the new man. He's the man that's come into this side. So hasn't played a great deal of cricket in recent times. Wisely just pushing it down the ground for a single.
That's pretty well done by Bum. That is what he should do, just rotate the strike. The asking rate is not much. They've already got 73 on the board. 126 is the target. This is just the 12th over. Still 54 balls to go, I think. Well bowled. Good areas.
Yeah, there's the THCA, I should say, coaching staff looking on. Bit of use of the feet and actually played it pretty well in the onside. Get through for a single. Being Ashman Bam back onto strike here. The right-hander. Oh, delicately played. Down to a short third man, so they'll get through for a single. And actually, despite the wicket, that's been a pretty good over. 12 gone. Armed Police Force are 75 for 1. Let's have a look at that card. Yes, Bahara. Well, he played beautifully, didn't he? 42 for 38 before being snared by the captain coming on in his first over. And while the captain of the Armed Police Force, Pradeep Ari, is going quite nicely on 27 off 32. Bam's just arrived. 2 from 2. Sandeep Kumar will be the bowling change up from this pavilion end. Let's have a look at those bowling figures. Well, Mohammad Mosharraf, 1 for 10. You see that 10 sort of slightly takes the gloss off that particular one. But a wicket nonetheless. They need a few more of those. Oh, it's a horrible bit of fielding. Fortunately, there's a man out on the extra cover rope. Abador Jaman Kaif was the man who missed that on that occasion.
That was very well played, but the misfield, a bit of a bounce issue there for the fielder. Well bowled. Very good stuff.
So where you need to be as a left armour, just hammer away around about off stump or just outside. Don't go too wide. Don't go too short. That's manoeuvred nicely into a gap. Back with a square on the leg side. They'll leg it back for a brace. Again, they're just continuing. They're still keeping things ticking over, aren't they, Paresh? That's what's impressive about them.
Yeah, which this Armed Police Force didn't do in the earlier matches. Pradeep Ayri went for all of his shots in his last match.
Oh, big shot. Has he got enough of that? He has. Just up and over extra cover. It's a percentage play, as long as you don't hit it too hard, to be honest. Oh, they'll get back for a couple. Oh, not the greatest bit of work by Uttam Tapa Naga out there on the rope. So a bit of a bonus run. Another 2 to the total. 3 off the over already.
Yeah, Dhaka team now they are in nerves. Their nerves, they are under a little bit of pressure. I don't know what the keeper was doing. He should have stayed behind the stump rather than coming in front of the stumps and making the throw half volley.
Yeah, I guess he's a reserve keeper, so it's not his. There's nothing really wrong with the throw. It's just not a very good bit of. So that's nudged away for another single. Fielded nicely out in the deep by MD Umar. End of 13, 81 for 1, run rate 6.23, 45 off 42 is the equation we're left with.
It's very much gettable with 9 wickets in hand, unless there is a few quick wickets fall down. Rather relaxing looking Army's dugout. Sorry, Armed Police Force dugout.
Yeah, the Armed Police Force are looking relaxed. Look, a couple of massages taking place. And as well they might. They're looking rather tasty. Yeah, the captain, Mohamed Mosharraf, will continue. He's got one already. Well, it's a use of feet, but it's a pretty horrific bit of batting, but he just doesn't quite get to the pitch of the ball. And Pradeep Airy, the skipper, well, it's a bit of an injudicious shot. He gets away with it, though.
That was totally unnecessary regarding what their situation is. That was totally unnecessary.
Yeah, almost swung himself off his feet in the end, looking at that replay. Horrible bit of batting.
And he's a said batsman and the captain of the team. You should lead by the front.
Yeah, 32 or 38. You don't want to lose another one at this stage. Still require around about 6 and over. Oh, down the leg side. That's been swung away. Luckily found the man down there. MD Umar with the fielding. A couple of yards either side, and that could have been another boundary. Ooh, Ashman Bam looking to work it in front of square, and it somehow managed to find itself down to fine leg. Another boundary, rather fortuitous, but a boundary nonetheless.
Yeah. Try to flick the ball from the outside the off stump. Misses it all. The keeper misses it. And the ball rolls over the rope for a bye. 4 runs. Lucky 4 runs for police force.
Yeah, 40 or 39 now. So that gap between balls remaining and runs required is just the one.
The ball stayed a bit low. It turned a bit. The length was right though.
Yeah, that's where you want to be. Finger spinner, off spinner, turning it back into the right hander. Pummeled down the ground. There is a man down there at long off, so it'll just be that single. One more ball of the over to come, and this the 14th. Big shot away on the onside. Just run through for a single. That'll be the end of the 14th. And the Armed Police Force are 88 for 1. And we'll have a commentary change in the commentary box as Andrew Leonard will rejoin us. Is that a big one? 500.
Well, welcome back to myself, I suppose. Thank you, Paresh, and thank you, Johnny. Is this going to be a very one-sided game here, or are the Dhaka side going to be able to do something miraculous in the last 6 overs? You must be sitting a little uncomfortably right now, Paresh Lahani.
No, I'm very comfortable. It's not about anything else. It's about good cricket. And the way the Armed Police Force has batted today, I'm very much impressed.
It's been much better, and maybe it could have been also different if Pradeep Airy was given out caught as he should have been. There's the Malaysia 11 getting ready for their afternoon game. Amy McCanny, their manager. They're not just going to need to necessarily win. This one smashed down the ground. Oh, that's lovely. Going to be 4 thanks to the misfield, but it was a glorious shot, wasn't it? The on drive over pitched right into the block hole. And this is starting to look very easy now. Less than a runner ball required for the first time in the chase.
Yes, extremely well played. Full face of the bat shown to the bowler. And with that misfield, they have plenty of misfield by the Dhaka team today.
That one there reminded me of a certain Paresh Lahani in his prime, am I right? That on drive.
Yeah,
What was your favourite shot?
the straight drive.
And there we go, exactly like that one, eh? This one's pulled into the deep. Irie will be happy with the single, I suspect. He's spent as much time on his backside as he has standing in this innings. It's slippy out there, isn't it? It's very sheeny, the surfaces.
Yes, absolutely. It's very slippy there. Pradeep Airi rolling around. Police force batting very well. 93 for 1. They haven't taken risk apart from Pradeep Airi, who was trying to hit the ball too hard earlier.
Yeah. 4 more to the total. This game could be ending in a hurry because all of a sudden Lokesh Bam is joining the party as well. We're in the 15th over. They're going to do this at a canter.
Yet another misfield at short fine. Beautifully clipped off his legs. Down to the fine leg boundary for 4 runs. Ayushman Bum moves to 8 of 7. And Pradeep Aire playing the captain's innings, 39 of 42. Still the strike rate under 100. It's not his game.
Worked into the offside. It'll just be a single despite another misfield. They've been a little all over the place. This chase looks like it's going to end pretty quickly right now.
Yeah, it definitely looks like that. If Pradeep Aire doesn't go berserk and gets out, it will end pretty quickly. There's a very high chance that he might get out trying to hit the ball.
Into the leg side, going to be more runs to the total, and another misfield. It won't go for 4 though, it'll be a couple. Irie's closing in on his first 50 of the tournament, batting really nicely.
Lenny, I wouldn't say that was a misfield. I would say that he's saved 2 runs for the team. Very good fielding.
Moves into the 40s, does Irie. He's batted nicely after that life that he had. He's very fortunate to still be out there. Into the block hole. Runs just seem to be flowing from every delivery now.
Yeah, because the bowler is bending his bat, trying to bowl a yorker. 15 gone. It's 101 for 1.
Straight to Johnny. Wrap it. 25 more runs required from 30 deliveries. They should be able to do this pretty comfortably, you'd imagine. And actually, I think this pitch is, despite the little bit of turn on offer, played pretty well.
Yes, they have. I think apart from Army's chase and Army's first innings, this has been one of the good innings by Armed Police Force.
Oh, lovely touch this time. We've seen power from Pradeep Aire, but now we see a bit of touch. And he's going to get 2 more runs to his total, a nice paddle sweep.
Yes, delicately done by Pradeep Aire. We don't often see that. Now he's assessed the pitch, knows the conditions well. He's been there. He's made 44 of 45. He's been there for the 16th over now, 15.1.
Beautifully bowled, beats the pretty Pyrie outside the off stump. He's held his nerve pretty well, Mohamed Umar. It's been some difficult partnerships for the bowlers. No one's been able to build up any pressure. But I think he's been pretty good and some sharp turning offer that time.
Yeah, he has, and the ball turned very sharply that.
Worked into the leg side and should be just the one. You'd have to think that there'll be just really small relief and small satisfaction for the Armed Police Force after those 2 defeats to get their tournament going. They are going to progress into the 5th versus 6th place playoff, it looks like.
Yes, the way the Armed Police Force batsman batted today. Deepak Bohra, he played very positive, and even Pradeep Aire.
Nicely bowled. He's going to run through for a single. Direct hit's going to be out here, and it's gone. He's ended up running himself out. In fact, it's Ayushman Bam who's been dismissed, not Lokesh Bam. I'll correct myself there from earlier. And the man into the team today has taken off for what was a pretty optimistic single, and a great piece of work from the bowler. Umar has picked it up one-handed. He probably had a stump and a half to aim at, and he just clipped the one stump spale enough to get it off, and Bam's been run out. Second wicket falls. He's gone for 9. It's 104 for 2.
A very silly run there by Ayushman Bam. When they were cruising towards the victory, is there any twist in the tail, Lenny?
Sandeep Jura, the new man to the crease. I don't think so, despite all of your hopes and wants for there to be. I'll just get back to my black book. It's always good to look at the black book, because this has got the stuff. It's got all the facts in it, doesn't it? When was it? The 19th over, the first innings. There it is there. I've asked Paresh Lahani, will 125 plus be enough? You said yes, absolutely.
I was wrong.
Well, not just yet. There's still cricket to be played. And while there's life, there is hope. 22 to win from the final 4 overs. Which way will this game go? It's 104 for 2.
.22 required of 24. 8 wickets in hand. It's pretty much easy of an ask. Raj Bum into the attack. Zora will be facing him.
Cut away really powerfully. That's hit as firmly as anything we've seen, and the fielders had another shocker. This time it's Udam Thapar Magar, the local man, really strongly cut by Jura, but that should have been stopped, and 3 more runs conceded by what's been a very sloppy fielding display from the Dhaka side.
Yeah, you could hear the
offside. They'll get through for a single. There's been pretty positive intent in the running between the wickets for the APF today. Been much better from them, their entire batting approach.
Yeah, the approach. We always said that from the last 4 days. The approach, the intent, the assess of the pitch. It's very important in the slower wicket, in the turning wickets.
Slower ball, left alone by Irie. Needs 5 to get to that century mark. There's no pressure on the required run rate. They aren't going to want to take it to the final over, though, are they? They'll want to end it in the 19th, 17 to win off 21.
Yeah, Pradeep Vaidya just relaxed a bit. Lost the first 2 matches.
White ball.
Down the leg side, that'll be signalled as wide.
Yeah, Raj Bum bowling a wide down the leg side. A very poor fielding effort and bowling effort by the THCA team. An impressive batting performance by Armed Police Force. They've showed their potential, but it's too late now. They cannot move into the semi-finals.
Slower ball, and that's nicely bowled. 16 to win off 20.
$110 for 2, the Armed Police Force in 16.4 overs. Bum in his 4th over given 26 for no wicket.
Smashed down the ground. Should be probably a couple. In fact, it's going to be yet another boundary, and that sums it all up for the Talent Hunt Cricket Academy from Dhaka.
Yet another misfield. I think I've seen 10 or more misfield by the THCA team. Very ordinary, under the par fielding effort by THCA team. That was a good shot by Pradeep Vaidya. Regulation fielding, but missed it completely. Very poor.
And that's going to be the 50. Pradeep Vaidya, the 3rd 50 of the tournament. It's come at a reasonably sedate pace. Just a small wave of the bat from the skipper. It's not been his tournament in terms of his team's tournament, but he's been pretty good and pretty effective with the bat. And he's going to finish with at least a half century. And he's got 51 not out from 53 deliveries, 6 fours.
Yes, Ari making the 3rd 50, the individual 50 of the tournament. Rohit Povdale scored 80 of 57. Virender Singh from Malaysia, he scored 66 of 63. And now Pradeep Vaidya scored a half century of 53 balls.
Yeah, nice to see someone else get past that landmark, because it hasn't been as tough for the batters as maybe the scorecards have said at points. There's just been some really poor efforts and poor approaches, but Pradeep Vaidya has shown there's a way to make runs on this wicket, and with it being less than double figures to win now, 9 off 17, I can almost taste the sweet smell of success myself too.
Sundeep Zora doing a right job, taking a single, just rotating the strike. It's just 9 runs needed of 17 now.
What's the best local beer, do you think, Pradeep? Or sorry, not Pradeep, sorry, I'm thinking of Pradeep Vaidya. Tony?
I'm very sorry, Lenny, I've quit drinking now.
Oh, have you? Okay,
Yeah.
Look, I'll have one on your behalf at some point over the coming nights. Maybe at your cost as well.
Maybe I'll treat you one.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Very kind. Is it 1-0 in the scorecard then? We're calling it 1-0.
No, it's not 1-0. I think it's a draw. Remember yesterday?
Oh, you're saying it's 1-1. Okay. Interesting way to look at it. Attempted sweep shot. Your boys from THCA trying to battle back, trying to make it 2-0 in your scorecard. I'm pretty sure all the independent adjudicators, though, would call it 1-0 to Lenny over the main man, Tony, right now.
Remember yesterday, Lenny?
Speared in with the arm ball. This is good over. Good battling stuff from Umar. He hasn't picked up a wicket today, but I think he's been pretty effective, pretty impressive. In fact, he's got good control of his arm ball and his orthodox off break that turns away from the right-hander. He's been picked up into the leg side to close out this over with a boundary. He'll finish with number 22, and the APF are on the brink for the win.
Yes, after 18, they are 122 for 2. APF. Beautifully done, full toss. Played it fine so that he can get the gap, and he did.
What's good about this, we'll get to see Sandeep Jura in action once more as well. He does come with that lofty reputation, the former Nepali international player who some have been calling for to get back involved. He's had 7 appearances. He's brought in very, very young, 60-20 eyes and 1 ODI for the national side. He hasn't had the best tournament scores of 4 and 3 so far, so a nice little not out will just give him some confidence. You'd have to think that Irie's going to want to hit the winning runs himself. It'll be Fuad Hassan to bowl the penultimate over of the chase. Thuds into the pad, that's quite close, a mix-up. Oh, Jura's not going to be not out, he's going to be run out. Pradeep Irie sent him back, Jura couldn't turn in time. I'm not sure where he was trying to run the single. And somehow, from nowhere, THCA have their 3rd wicket.
Again, we can see that youngsters, without any experience, they already have the game in hand. He doesn't need to run.
Pradeep Irie has slipped so many times today, hasn't he? And Sandeep Jura just ended up giving it up.
It was not a smart cricket by Sandeep Jura. When you only need 4 runs in 12 balls, you never run risky runs like those. Sumit Maharjan comes in at number 5. .1 overs gone. 122 for 3. Target is 126. Only 4 runs to win in 11 balls.
Yeah, just a boundary needed, and I think Irie's going to try and finish this in style. He's going to want to get it done himself. Finish with that not out status. Dot ball, 10 deliveries left.
Fuad Hassan bowling some medium paces. Pradeep Irie on strike.
Smashed down the ground, that's a nice shot. Will just be a single, surely. Thank God he stopped that. We couldn't have finished on another misfield. 3 to win off 9.
Yeah, the ball bounced on him. Luckily, it was a good bounce straight in his hands, the fielder. Maharjan on strike now, 3 runs to win in 9 balls.
Wide outside the off stump, 2 to win.
Come on, Margin, hit a 4 and just get on with it.
Into the offside, no single this time. No pressure on Maher. There's no pressure at all on Maherjan, because even if he plays out 2 dot balls here, it'll just be over to Pretty Pyrie to finish it in the final over with 2 to win.
Yeah, apart from Mohammad Umar, none of the bowlers have bowled decently from the Dhaka.
So maybe Pyrie can finish it in the penultimate over. He'll have 1 ball to do it. The scores are tied now, and with that goes any hope for Paresh Lahani. Here we go. Lahani's going to get it done. Not Lahani. Pyrie will get it done. Lahani won't get it done. He called it wrong. And Pretty Pyrie down the ground for the single. That is going to be that in pretty subdued circumstances. But a good knock from the skipper has helped guide his side home. And to be very honest, they've done it pretty easily. They've done it with a full over to spare. Plenty of comfort to the way they chased and approached this, driven by their skipper, who remains unbeaten with 50 odd not out.
Like I said, Lenny, let's be realistic. I said 125 in this wicket. It's definitely defendable. But the way they batted Armed Police Force, I am really impressed with them. The way Pradeep Iyer's approach, the way Maharjan played.
Well, it was really the youngsters promoted up the order. Deepak Bahara, who batted so nicely, changed things for the APF. So their third opening partnership of 3 has been the winning one. And Pradeep Pyrie is going to finish with 54 not out, 6 boundaries in that innings from 58 deliveries. And you'd have to say they've not just run out big winners, but deserved winners. And it's okay to sometimes admit that you got it wrong.
Yeah, I got it wrong. But they played well.
They played up the order. He hit 5 fours and 1 maximum in an innings of 42 not out off 38 deliveries. And himself and Pyrie, they put on 72 for the first wicket.
Yeah, and that's the highest opening partnership of the tournament. This is the 9th game. You can see there how much assessment and intent they had in this chase, the Armed Police Force. Beautiful shots played. And the credit goes to the Dhaka team, the misfeeds they did.
Yeah, Dhaka were dreadful, weren't they? In the field, number of errors here you're seeing in this highlights package, because they probably would have conceded, what, 20 runs maybe? Maybe 25 runs in a low scoring chase of 125. That's just never going to help you. That was the big 6, a good strike from Bahara, the only one of the innings. And it was just the 1 wicket that fell, would you believe, into the bowlers. That went to the skipper, Mo Sharif. And all those misfields, they keep stacking up.
I bet, Lenny, 30 or more runs have come off the misfield.
Yeah, could well be right. Probably 5, 6, 7 boundaries that went to misfields. Hopefully this isn't another one. No, that was Umair. No, it was, would you believe it? The number of misfields that is shocking, really. And the end result is going to be that Pyrie and Bahara have led the Armed Police Force to victory. And they've done it pretty comfortably. Their first win of the tournament means they'll stay alive. They'll have 1 more game, not in terms of going on to win the championship, but they will have 1 more game to battle out for 6th place. We'll take a look at the wickets. Here they are. And just the 3 to fall, 1 wicket for And then a couple of run-outs. The one to Bam, and then one to Jorda, who ran himself out, really. Disastrous piece of running. There's the bowling figures. Just the one wicket to the bowlers, remarkably. And that one wicket went to the skipper, Mo Sharif. But there wasn't a lot to cheer. 72-run opening partnership basically put the game beyond doubt. And even though they lost 2 wickets to those run-outs, it was all the armed police force today. That's the match summary. They take the win by 7 wickets very comfortably indeed. And they wrap up their first win in the tournament. Time now to get down to the post-match presentation with Johnny Barron.
Thanks, Andrew. Yes, it's presentation time for match number 9 of the Fancy Akada Pro Club Championship, which, well, it saw a comprehensive win as the Armed Police Force win their first game of the tournament, chasing down 125 by THCA Dhaka with 7 wickets in hand. A fairly comprehensive victory for them, their first in the tournament. And let's talk first of all to the losing captain of THCA Dhaka, Mohammed Mosharif. Mohammed, tough luck today, a few more runs, but still not quite enough.
Yes, the 125 run is very good fighting score. This wicket, very difficult second innings. We very poor fielding. अच्छा नहीं cover कर रहे हैं.
And have you enjoyed the experience of playing in the Akada, the Fancy Akada Pro Club Championship?
Yes, very. First of all, thank you Nepal Pro Championship, Arif sir, and Bangladeshi supporter, and Sujan sir, enjoying this tournament.
Mohammed, thank you very much indeed. That is the losing captain from THCA Dhaka. Because the winning captain and the man of the match is, well, it's the same person, I'd like to ask our special guest to come and join us up here on the stand. And our special guest is Prem Kumar Sentry, who is the founding president of the CAR. So we'll start slightly in reverse order. And we'll bring up our man of the match for his 2 for 3 and his 54 not out. A stunning all-round performance by the Armed Police Force captain, Buddy Pieri. Paddy, terrific win. You must be delighted to get off the mark in this competition.
Yeah, first 2 games, our batting didn't click. In this game, we take a responsibility, and Deepak Bora play a very good knock on open.
And a really impressive all-round display by yourself. 2 very cheap wickets and a 50 as well to guide your side home.
Yeah, I used to bowl in the past. Due to the injury, I have left the bowling, so I am recovering quickly, and it's only what the team need, like keeping bowling, batting, I will be available there.
Fantastic. And also, looking forward, you've got one more game in the competition. You must be delighted.
Yeah. Last game, we want to take a win and go home.
Wonderful. Congratulations indeed, and well done for getting your first win in the competition. And that concludes the presentation here, and I'll be back to Andrew upstairs.
So that's going to wrap things up for game number 1, but make sure you stay with us because we've got more action this afternoon, and it's pretty soon because that first game is run on late. In just over 20 minutes time, we're going to have an afternoon clash at 2 p.m. local. It might just start at 2:05. That's going to be the Malaysia 11 against the Nepal Police Club. It'll be live on AP1 HD and around the world on VU Sports. Do come and join us then.